Warrior Lore. Chapter 390. The evil spirit was truly terrifying. It ignored all attacks. Now that Lin Feng was being attacked by the evil spirit, it was difficult for him to dodge. The attack was about to pierce Lin Feng's chest. Buzz. Suddenly, a Buddhist light emitted from Lin Feng's brocade pouch and enveloped Lin Feng's body. When the evil spirit's attack reached him, it was blocked by the Buddhist light. Sizzle, sizzle, sizzle. Moreover, the evil spirit's claws were emitting black smoke. Screech. The evil spirit was severely injured. The evil spirit was not afraid of fire, but it was afraid of the power of Buddhism. It's a Saraira. Lin Feng's eyes lit up. He remembered the Saraira he had obtained from the Wall of Devils. The so-called Saraira was usually a sacred object of Buddhism after an eminent Buddhist monk passed away. The Buddhist bones in his body were immortal. After the evil spirit was injured, it went completely berserk. It let out a sharp and ear-piercing cry. A sinister and terrifying aura was emitted from the evil spirit's body. The evil spirit roared furiously and threw itself at Lin Feng again. Lin Feng took out the Saraira and held it in his hand. Namo Amitabha. Suddenly, the Buddhist light from the Saraira shone. An ancient Buddha appeared above Lin Feng. The ancient Buddha sat cross-legged with its palms together and chanted, Namo Amitabha. Endless Buddhist light surged out and enveloped the evil spirit in an instant. Screech. Screech. The evil spirit let out an incomparably shrill scream as its body began to be destroyed. The evil spirit was not indestructible. He just needed to find the right way to kill the evil spirit. Of course, this was not an easy task. A Buddhist Saraira. A cultivator saw the Saraira in Lin Feng's hand, and his eyes lit up. He quickly rushed over. Kid, give it to me. Cold laughter rang out. Lin Feng was attacked. He was surrounded by 5 or 6 cultivators. 3 of them were martial kings. Damn it! Lin Feng's expression was gloomy. These people were very detestable. Seeing that his Saraira could kill the evil spirit, they wanted to kill him and seize his treasures. This was the ugly side of the world of cultivators. Under normal circumstances, even if they killed someone to steal their treasures, they would do it secretly. But now that everyone was trapped by the evil spirit, they no longer had any scruples. Fuck you. Taoist Wu Liang rushed over and swept away a cultivator who was besieging Lin Feng. Following that, another 5 to 6 experts rushed over and repelled the cultivators who were besieging Lin Feng. A middle-aged cultivator shouted, We only ask for your protection, little brother. We definitely won't try to steal the Saraira. Then let's kill our way out together. Lin Feng nodded. This was a matter of mutual benefit. His possession of the Saraira, a precious treasure, had already attracted the attention of many people. The evil spirits in the surroundings sensed the aura of the Saraira and stopped attacking. However, they did not disperse. They lingered around and surrounded Lin Feng and the others. Everyone, instead of dying at the hands of the evil spirit, why don't we steal the Saraira? We can use it to leave. A cultivator said coldly. Lin Feng said, My Saraira can naturally protect everyone. Don't be deceived by this person. Some people did not simply want to leave. They wanted to create chaos and take advantage of the chaos to steal Lin Feng's Saraira. Lin Feng naturally saw this very clearly, but there were many people who had such thoughts. Very few people responded to Lin Feng. Many people's eyes flashed coldly. This was the human heart. Lin Feng's expression darkened slightly. Taoist Wu Liang sneered and said, F***CK. Let's do it. Who's afraid of who? At worst, we'll just destroy the Saraira. When that happens, everyone will be finished. A cultivator sneered and said, A sacred object of Buddhism? Is it that easy to destroy? You fake Taoist priest, you said that I would have a bloody calamity. I think you're the one who will have a bloody calamity. I'll split your head open later. Taoist Wu Liang's mouth twitched violently. He touched his forehead and found that it was covered in cold sweat. Attack, a cultivator said. He did not want to wait any longer and took the initiative to kill and steal the Saraira. Many people were ready to make a move. To Lin Feng and the others, this was naturally not a good thing. At that moment, a cold and terrifying aura came from the depths of the hall. The hundreds of evil spirits in the periphery trembled and quickly retreated. Is some terrifying existence about to appear? Why are these evil spirits so scared? Lin Feng and the others looked into the depths of the hall in horror. A mysterious person wearing a black robe appeared. Kikik, a sinister voice sounded. Whoosh. The mysterious person in the black robe attacked. He was so fast that he was like an afterimage as he flashed through the crowd. Crack, crack then. The necks of the cultivators were broken. The black-robed cultivator rushed into the area covered by the Buddhist light. He did not seem to be afraid of the Buddhist light. It's a Yin god. A cultivator cried out in fear, uttering an extremely terrifying name. Yin gods were said to be formed by the evil thoughts of the fallen gods. Are there really Yin gods? Isn't there an eternally subduing god-devil steel here? It suppresses all evil thoughts of the ancient gods and devils and prevents them from turning into Yin gods. Why are there Yin gods here? Someone shouted in horror. Lin Feng also thought of the eternally subduing god-devil steel. It was to prevent the birth of these terrifying Yin gods. But now, Yin god had actually appeared. Yin gods were almost immortal and abnormally powerful. Let's go, let's go, Lin Feng shouted. He, Taoist Wu Liang, and a few other cultivators quickly rushed out under the protection of the Saraira. Yin gods could not resist at all. Perhaps only a supreme being would be able to fight against the Yin god. Screech. More than 10 evil spirits rushed over, but the Saraira's power forced them back. Everyone successfully rushed out of the hall and rushed into the depths. Not long after, a terrifying aura came from behind. It was the aura of a Yin god. The terrifying Yin god was quickly chasing after them. He's got his eyes on us. Lin Feng's expression was gloomy. Let's go deeper. Many strong cultivators have gone there. A cultivator said. This was indeed a good idea. If there were strong cultivators there, they could lure the Yin god there and escape. Although some people might be unlucky because of the Yin god, this was the world of cultivators. Everything they did was for their own survival. Lin Feng and the others rushed into the depths of the hall. Finally, they arrived at the deepest part of the city. There was an enormous public square, and in the depths of the public square was a Tao platform. The platform was sealed, and the sarcophagus landed on top of it. On top of the platform, there was an altar. There were 3 things on the altar, but they were all wrapped up in a golden light. Many strong cultivators were trying to break the matrix, including Madman. They were all trying to break the matrix, trying to get the treasures inside. Whoosh! Lin Feng and the others rushed over. It's that guy, whispered Hu Mei Xian when she saw Lin Feng running towards her. However, Lin Feng and Wu Liang Daoist had already squeezed their way through the crowd. Brat, do you want to die? F***CK. Damn Daoist, what are you squeezing for? A cultivator cursed in dissatisfaction. Lin Feng and the others didn't care about this. It was safer to squeeze into the crowd. The Yin deity rushed over and started attacking the cultivators on the periphery. Pooh! Immediately, more than 10 cultivators died tragically under the Yin deity's sharp claws. Their shrill screams startled many people. Even the great cultivators who were trying to break the matrix were alarmed. It's the Yin deity. Many great cultivators saw the black-robed cultivator, and their expressions turned ugly. Chapter 391. Little brat, how dare you lure the Yin god here? You're courting death. Damn Taoist priest, you're so immoral. How dare you lure the Yin god here? The group of cultivators looked at Lin Feng, the Taoist priest, and the others ferociously. The Taoist priest argued, we were just running away. We didn't know there were so many people in the depths. Nobody would believe the Wu Liang Taoist priest. Some people looked angry. They wanted to attack Lin Feng, the Wu Liang Taoist priest, and the others. If you want to attack, both sides will suffer in the end. Lin Feng said indifferently, "Humph." In the end, the cultivators who wanted to attack held back. The Yin god was extremely terrifying, and its chi was terrifying. It pounced on the other cultivators. Yin god! Crazed man laughed sinisterly. He rose up from the Tao platform and pounced on the Yin god. Crazed man naturally didn't want to help others. He just wanted to devour the Yin god. Bang! An earth-shattering shockwave rippled out as the mad demon and the Een god clashed violently against each other, causing the void to almost shatter. Thump, 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 thump. The two of them retreated continuously. With each step, ripples appeared in the air, and it seemed like it would shatter at any moment. These two people were too terrifying, both Crazed Man and the Een god. Crazed Man's origin was mysterious, and the Een god was formed from the evil thoughts of a god after his death. Neither of them was easy to deal with, and now they were facing each other in the air. Crazed Man didn't continue attacking the Een god. He was obviously afraid of the Een god's strength. This Een god is too strong. I don't think we can kill him without a holy emperor's weapon or a great emperor's weapon. The Taoist priest whispered. Holy emperors and ancient emperors were the pinnacle of cultivation. They were gods. However, in the 3,000 provinces of the continent of Tianwu, there hadn't been a holy emperor or ancient emperor for more than 100,000 years. It was said that the last ancient emperor had been a great emperor, but he had died at the end of the ancient era. However, there were still some holy emperor's weapons and great emperor's weapons in the 3,000 provinces. However, such treasures were used to protect fate, and people wouldn't use them easily. Lin Feng said, Crazed Man is also powerful. Look, the Een god didn't attack. He's staring at Crazed Man. He's obviously afraid of him. Crazed Man chased Lin Feng, tried to kill him, and Lin Feng's impression of Crazed Man. He was unimaginably strong. The stalemate between the mad demon and the Een god finally ended with the Een god retreating. The Een god lingered around the perimeter, its green eyes staring at the Dao platform. It did not attack again. Mad Demon seemed to know that it was difficult to kill the Een god. He returned to the Dao platform and began to break the Dao platform's restrictions. The restriction on the platform was unusually strong, but with so many experts working together to break it, the restriction on the platform was gradually weakening. The stone coffin is suppressing the path platform and activating the path platform's deployment spells. It'll take some time to break the deployment spells, said Lin Feng. Taoist Wu Liang rubbed his chin and walked in another direction. He wanted to avoid the Een god and leave this place. Where you go where? Lin Feng asked. He felt that Boundless Taoist had left very suddenly, as if he needed to make some preparations. Boundless Taoist said, Humans have 3 needs. Lin Feng waved his hand, indicating that he should leave quickly. Boundless Taoist muttered, Humans have 3 needs. Rushing to steal treasures. Rushing to steal orthodoxies. Rushing to steal treasures. He didn't know if people would directly fall to the ground if they heard that the immeasurable Taoist had 3 urgent needs. Whoosh! Boundless Taoist quickly disappeared. He rushed out of the catacombs and returned to the surface. Then, he began to set up a formation. If they were here, they would be shocked. Boundless Taoist's formation was not ordinary. It was extremely complicated. Who would have thought that Boundless Taoist was a powerful formation master? Void Transportation Formation and Treasure Devouring Formation. Boundless Taoist muttered. Bang, bang, bang. Many strong cultivators were frantically trying to break the formation. Roar. Suddenly, a deafening roar shook the heavens and earth as a savage beast appeared. It was a giant Taowu, a savage beast that had been created by the Dao platform. It was now attacking the crowd. The Taowu was one of the 4 primordial beasts, a terrifying existence on the same level as Cheong Qi. Although the Taowu here was only created by the Dao platform, it was still very terrifying. Its roar almost shattered the void. Many people paled from the shock. Boom! Many powerful cultivators attacked together. Although the Taowu was powerful, it could not withstand the combined attacks of so many powerful cultivators. Finally, the Taowu's body exploded, and the formation protecting the Dao platform began to crack. Dark, underworld, demonic, tome. At the same time, Lin Feng's demonic orb in his Dantian sent out another message. It was the Dark Underworld Demonic Book again. This Dark Underworld Demonic Book was no small matter. It had caused the demonic orb to react a few times. Lin Feng looked at the 3 golden balls of light on the Dao platform. Could one of them contain the Dark Underworld Demonic Book? Lin Feng's heart skipped a beat. Boom! Many cultivators continued to attack in a frenzy. Powerful attacks swept across the heavens and the earth, directly shattering the restrictions. The formation has been broken. Many people cried out in alarm. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. At the same time, the three golden balls of light on the Tao platform shot up into the sky. Crazy Man rushed towards one of the golden balls of light and grabbed it. Suddenly, a terrifying aura was emitted from the golden ball of light. A beam of golden light swept towards Kwang Imo and sent him flying. Then, the golden ball of light broke through the cave and soared into the sky, disappearing without a trace. Kwang Imo let out a strange cry and rushed out in pursuit. No one dared to snatch anything from Kwang Imo. The eyes of the other experts locked onto the remaining two golden balls of light. These two balls of light emitted an astonishing aura and quickly flew into the distance. Many strong cultivators tried to stop the two golden balls of light, but the two balls of light suddenly changed. One of them turned pitch black and turned into a mysterious pitch black book page. It was unknown what it was made of, but it was obviously a precious treasure. It pierced through the sky and flew off into the distance. The other golden ball of light turned purple. Endless purple light shot up into the sky and avoided the cultivators trying to grab it. It flew in the opposite direction of the black book page. Dark Underworld Demonic Book. Lin Feng looked at the black book page and his eyes lit up. That had to be the Dark Underworld Demonic Book that the demonic orb had mentioned. The two precious treasures were astonishing. They swept across the sky and sent many strong cultivators flying. "Damn it! Don't let them escape!" shouted many strong cultivators gloomily. They shot up into the sky and chased after the two precious treasures. However, at this moment, a terrifying force suddenly surged down from the void and trapped the two treasures. After that, the two treasures quickly flew off into the distance. Not good. Someone is secretly setting up a formation to capture the two treasures. Many strong cultivators' faces turned ugly as they gritted their teeth in anger. Many people wanted to grab the two treasures, but they were all sent flying. Lin Feng's heart skipped a beat. He did not know if his heaven-devouring jar could devour them. The heaven-devouring jar could devour all kinds of magic treasures. Whoosh! Lin Feng took out the heaven-devouring jar. A terrifying suction force surged out from the heaven-devouring jar and enveloped the two treasures. However, only the Dark Underworld Demonic Book was devoured by the heaven-devouring jar. The other treasure broke free from the heaven-devouring jar's restraint. Perhaps it was not a magic treasure. The purple ball of light flew off into the distance. Got it. Lin Feng's eyes lit up. Kid, leave the treasures behind. Many cultivators shouted and pounced on Lin Feng. Swoosh, swoosh. Lin Feng spread his golden wings and flew away madly. He had actually stolen one of the three great treasures on the platform. Now, there were many strong cultivators here, and there were even powerful cultivators. At this moment, these strong cultivators were looking at him as if they were about to devour him. How could Lin Feng dare to stay? He had to get rid of these people as soon as possible. Otherwise, if he was caught, he would definitely die. Kid, you're plucking a tiger's fur. You're asking for it. The group of important figures roared angrily. They had worked so hard to break through the array, but they had failed to obtain the last treasure. Yet, a brat in the martial general realm had actually snatched away a treasure right under their noses. How could they not be angry? Their eyes were spitting fire. They wanted nothing more than to cut Lin Feng into pieces. These strong cultivators soared into the sky and chased after Lin Feng. Chapter 392. Lin Feng was extremely excited. The shimmering demonic book was a treasure that had caused the demonic pearl to vibrate violently several times. Now, he had finally gotten his hands on it. However, Lin Feng did not have the time to study the shimmering demonic book. There were so many strong cultivators eyeing him covetously, and all of them wanted to cut him into pieces. He did not dare to waste any time. Time was life. There were more than 20 important figures chasing after him. All of them were extremely terrifying. They could kill him with a single palm strike. If it had been an ordinary cultivator at the martial general realm, they would have caught up with him long ago. Only Lin Feng had mastered the golden wings and was as fast as lightning. Otherwise, these people would have caught up with him. Kid, Stop and give us the black page. We'll give you wealth and glory. What do you think? One of the important figures said in a low voice. Lin Feng said, wealth and glory are just passing clouds. It's better to cultivate and live forever. That's the only way to be free. Then we'll use all kinds of cultivation resources, treasures, and spirit stones to trade with you. What do you think? Another important figure said, isn't it easy to get cultivation resources? How can they compare to this treasure? It's hard to find even in 10,000 years. Lin Feng replied. The group of important figures was so angry that their faces turned green. Was this kid mocking them? Pfft. Someone laughed out loud. The charming fox immortal recognized Lin Feng. She was very surprised. She did not expect that the treasure that so many people were scheming to get would be taken by a young man she had met before. This was really unbelievable. This young man was being chased by a group of strong cultivators, yet he still dared to mock them. He was really bold. Fairy Fox, do you know him? Hua Shirua asked. Obviously, Hua Shirua and the charming fox immortal knew each other. He's a very mysterious guy, the charming fox immortal said. Hua Shirua was slightly surprised. She did not expect the charming fox immortal to have such an evaluation of the young cultivator. Hua Shirua was the most beautiful woman in the divine prefecture of the East County. She rarely paid attention to other men. Now, her beautiful eyes looked at Lin Feng. She also felt that this person was very different. He actually dared to snatch a treasure from dozens of strong cultivators. Whoosh! Lin Feng's speed was extremely fast. He flew out like a madman. A group of important figures chased after them with gloomy expressions. They realized that after chasing for so long, they still hadn't caught a single martial general cultivator. To them, this was a great humiliation. This kid's flying secret technique is so powerful. I'll have to force it out of him once I capture him. Many people were tempted. He was just a martial general cultivator. With the help of that kind of flying secret technique, his speed was actually so fast. It was simply unimaginable. What if they cultivated that kind of flying secret technique? What kind of frightening level would his speed reach? Thinking of this, many people felt a little excited. It's that treasure. Lin Feng saw another treasure. It was wrapped in purple light, and he couldn't see what it was clearly. Earlier, this treasure had escaped the sky-swallowing jars devouring. Lin Feng sped up, wanting to catch up. Since he had already taken the shimming demonic book, Lin Feng didn't mind taking another treasure. However, the purple light was wrapped in a powerful force. It was very fast, and Lin Feng couldn't catch up to it. Whoosh, whoosh! The purple light and Lin Feng rushed out of the tomb one after another. They arrived at the passage outside, then rushed out of the passage and into the forest outside. Kid, you can't escape. You're just a martial general. Even if your flying secret technique is amazing, your pure chi will be exhausted soon. When that time comes, your speed will slow down. You'll still fall into our hands, won't you? One of the important figures said with a gloomy expression. His voice was filled with killing intent. Lin Feng naturally understood this. His expression became serious. He needed to find a way to escape. Kid, hand over the treasure in exchange for your life. What do you think? Said another important figure, but inside, he was sneering. Once you stop, not only will you not be able to get the treasure, but we'll also be able to spy on your secrets and force you to reveal your flying secret technique. Then we'll kill you to wash away the humiliation you've brought to us. These important figures were all trying to persuade Lin Feng, promising Lin Feng benefits and so on. However, Lin Feng remained unmoved. The world of cultivators was filled with mutual deception and intrigue. If one believed these people so easily, they wouldn't even know how they died. Kid, you should consider our proposal. Hand over the black page, and we'll let you live. Another important figure tried to entice Lin Feng. Lin Feng's expression was indifferent. Treasures of heaven and earth can only be obtained by those who are fated. If this treasure is mine, then it means that it's not fated to be with you. Why are you so stubborn? The group of important figures was so angry that their mouths were about to become crooked. They were actually being taught a lesson by a martial general ant. This made them extremely depressed. When they saw that Lin Feng was so stubborn, They didn't say anything else and quickly chased after him. In a nearby mountain range, Wuliang Daoist rubbed his hands excitedly. Haha, I can sense the aura of an immortal treasure. It seems like I've succeeded. I'm really rich. A shocking fluctuation came from the distance, and Wuliang Daoist saw a purple ball of light flying over. The treasure is here. Wuliang Daoist was so excited that he almost jumped up. He had deliberately set up a large formation outside in order to capture the treasure in the depths of the tomb. Now, Wuliang Daoist had really accomplished this feat, however. He had originally captured 2 treasures, and one of them had been devoured by Lin Feng. Whoosh, whoosh, many powerful cultivators flew over behind the purple ball of light. Wuliang Daoist had calculated this, so he had set up a void teleportation formation in order to escape after he succeeded. What surprised Wuliang Daoist was that the first person to follow behind the purple ball of light was actually Lin Feng. Damn, it's actually that damn Daoist. When he saw Wuliang Daoist in the forest, Lin Feng's mouth twitched. This guy had said that people had 3 needs. Lin Feng thought that Wuliang Daoist was looking for a place to relieve himself, but he didn't expect that Wuliang Daoist had actually run outside and schemed against dozens of powerful cultivators in the depths of the tomb. He was the one who had captured the 2 treasures. Lin Feng quickly rushed towards Wuliang Daoist. He knew that this damn Daoist would definitely have a way to escape. Damn Daoist, it's you. This Daoist is in cahoots with that brat. Capture them and cut them into pieces. Many powerful cultivators gnashed their teeth when they saw Wuliang Daoist. They wanted nothing more than to cut him into pieces. Wuliang Daoist shrank back in fear. The purple ball of light quickly flew over and was collected by Wuliang Daoist. Then, Wuliang Daoist activated the void teleportation formation and disappeared without a trace. It's a void teleportation formation. Lin Feng's eyes lit up. Before the teleportation formation closed, he also rushed into it and disappeared. Damn it, don't let them escape, shouted someone furiously. Before the teleportation formation closed, 3 powerful cultivators also rushed into it and disappeared. After that, the teleportation formation closed. Lin Feng, Wuliang Daoist, and the 3 powerful cultivators left through the teleportation formation. The others were left behind. That damn Daoist. How dare he scheme against us? And that brat, he really deserves to be cut into pieces. Many of the big shots roared like crazy, their faces distorted. They had worked so hard to break open the Dao platform, but 2 people had taken advantage of the loophole and stolen 2 treasures right under their noses. Moreover, these 2 cultivators were not very powerful. In their eyes, they were just like ants. It was precisely because of these ants that these experts were so depressed. If it had been a cultivator stronger than them or a cultivator of the same cultivation level as them, it would have been acceptable. However, to have been stolen by cultivators who were like ants to them was simply a great humiliation to them. Chapter 393. The teleportation array created a simple spatial tunnel. Traveling through it would be dozens of times faster than flying outside. Taoist priest, you're awesome. You can actually set up such a brilliant teleportation array. Lin Feng clicked his tongue in wonder. At first, he had thought that Daoist Wuliang was just a scammer, but later he realized that this guy was quite knowledgeable. Now that he saw the teleportation array, he was shocked. Only a formation master would know how difficult it was to set up a teleportation array, but Wuliang had managed to do it. This was enough to show how terrifying he was. Wuliang rolled his eyes. He seemed to be disdainful of Lin Feng's strange behavior, but he also seemed to be pleased with himself. He thought about how Lin Feng was being chased and asked, "Why are they chasing you?" Lin Feng replied, "You must be mistaken. Actually, we're all chasing after that treasure. I'm just a bit faster." Wuliang obviously didn't believe Lin Feng's nonsense. He rolled his eyes and bared his teeth, revealing a ferocious expression. "You're the one who stole one of the treasures?" Wu Liang's deduction was very accurate. This guy was as intelligent as a demon. Lin Feng refused to admit it. "Nonsense. There are so many experts. How could I have stolen it?" Boom. A terrifying aura could be felt from behind. 3 great figures were chasing after them. "Not good. They're chasing after me. Lin Feng's expression changed slightly. These were three peerless experts. If they caught up to him, he wouldn't have a good time. Brat, and that damn Taoist priest, hand over the two treasures and you can live. Otherwise, when we catch up to you, we'll cut you into 1,000 pieces. One of the great figures said fiercely. Damn, and you're still saying that you didn't get the treasures? Wu Liang's eyes flashed with excitement as he looked at Lin Feng. Lin Feng trembled when he saw Wu Liang's expression. He waved his fist and said, "Don't disturb me. Otherwise, I'll beat you up." Another great figure said coldly, "Maybe we can sit down and negotiate calmly. We can exchange what you want for what we want." Exchange my ass. Wu Liang raised his middle finger disdainfully. The three great figures were so angry that their noses were about to become crooked. This bastard must be a fake Taoist priest. It was very rare to see a Taoist priest come out, but those who did were all experts. How could there be a scoundrel like Wu Liang? Since that's the case, we can only kill you too. The third big shot said coldly. He threw a punch at Lin Feng and the Taoist priest. Celestial lights appeared and surrounded Lin Feng and the Taoist priest of the Wu Liang. Yuhua Immortal Dynasty's Immortal Slaying Technique. You're from Yuhua Immortal Dynasty. Wu Liang's expression changed when he saw this attack. The Yuhua Immortal Dynasty was an ancient dynasty in the Immortal Continent. Among the many ancient dynasties, it was one of the 10 great dynasties, second only to the 4 great dynasties of the Middle Holy Celestial Continent. The dynasty had a long history and was extremely powerful. Wu Liang's Wu Liang was unparalleled in the world. Yuhua Immortal Dynasty, Huangfu Tianxiong. The middle-aged cultivator said coldly. Yuhua Immortal Dynasty's Imperial Family. Wu Liang's expression darkened. In the Yuhua Immortal Dynasty, only the Imperial family had the surname Huangfu. You know quite a lot. Huangfu Tianxiong looked indifferent. That terrifying attack was already moving towards Lin Feng and the Taoist priest. Explosion technique. Bang. Lin Feng cast a spiritual deployment spell, and the tunnel behind him exploded. The explosion of the tunnel was astonishing. It blocked Huangfu Tianxiong's attack, and the whole tunnel shook violently. 2 spirit formation masters, Huangfu Tianxiong and the other 2, looked gloomy. They had already rushed over before the tunnel split open. Huangfu Tianxiong looked indifferent and said coldly, "You won't be able to escape. Your cultivations are nothing more than ants in our eyes. Even if you know some spiritual array techniques, you'll still die in the end." Lin Feng and the boundless Taoist priest looked glum. Indeed, escaping from the 3 strong cultivators wasn't going to be easy. Whoosh! Whoosh! The 3 big shots quickly chased after them and gradually closed the distance between Lin Feng and Wu Liang. How many more li until we reach the exit of this spatial tunnel? Lin Feng asked. About 50 miles. Wu Liang said. Once they left the tunnel, they would be in trouble. Lin Feng frowned. He had a bad feeling, but he glanced at the Taoist priest. The Taoist priest looked calm and unperturbed. Wu Liang still had a way? Lin Feng secretly paid attention to Wu Liang's every move. Boom! The 3 big shots behind them attacked again. This time, their attacks were even fiercer and more violent. Moreover, the 3 of them attacked together. Their powerful attacks were aimed at Lin Feng and Wu Liang. Lin Feng took out his black tortoise shield, a defensive treasure. The black tortoise shield quickly grew in size and blocked behind Lin Feng and Wu Liang. Bang! When the attacks of the 3 big shots arrived, the powerful defense of the black tortoise shield was actually destroyed. The black tortoise shield directly exploded. A powerful defensive treasure was destroyed, and Lin Feng and Wu Liang were sent flying by the powerful energy. Wah! The 2 of them both spat out a mouthful of blood. Even though the attacks of the 3 great figures did not actually land on them, just the energy shockwaves were enough to injure them. If the attacks had landed on them directly, they would have been killed long ago. A light appeared in front of them. They had finally reached the exit of the tunnel. One of the big shots sneered and said, "We're about to leave the tunnel. They can't escape. I really want to see them in despair." The second big shot had an indifferent expression, but his face was full of killing intent. Huangfu Tianxiong's eyes flashed with a sinister light. "When the time comes, we'll kill those 2 without mercy." Whoosh! Lin Feng and Wu Liang rushed out of the tunnel, and the three big shots followed closely behind. The killing intent in Huangfu Tianxiong and the others' hearts was at its peak. They were about to attack Lin Feng and Wu Liang. But at this moment, Taoist Wu Liang took out a piece of jade and activated it. Dense array runes shot out from the jade and intertwined together to form a Dao platform. Teleportation platform. When they saw the platform, Huangfu Tianxiong and the others' faces turned green. Wu Liang jumped into the teleportation platform and disappeared again. Lin Feng had been paying attention to Wu Liang's actions. After Wu Liang jumped into the teleportation platform and disappeared, Lin Feng also jumped into the teleportation platform. He was enveloped by the light and disappeared without a trace. The jade talisman then shattered, and the area returned to normal. Lin Feng and Wu Liang had used the teleportation platform to go to who knew where? The three big shots roared furiously. They stood in the void, feeling depressed and unable to vent their frustrations. They attacked the surrounding forest with their palms. Boom, 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 boom. Mountain peaks and large forests. They were all destroyed in an instant by the three angry big shots. Chapter 394. Boom. As soon as Lin Feng stepped out of the teleportation array, he was attacked. Wu Liang Taoist sent a palm strike at Lin Feng. This palm strike landed on Lin Feng's body and sent Lin Feng flying. Lin Feng's physical body was extremely strong. He couldn't withstand the Taoist priest's attack, but he wasn't severely injured. Wu Liang Taoist rushed over again and shouted, "Be ****starred. I knew you were the one who stole my treasure. Give it back to me." Wu Liang Taoist was an ally 1 second and an enemy the next. In the next moment, Wu Liang Taoist screamed and held his head, pounding it with all his might. "Brat, you actually used a secret soul technique to attack me." Wu Liang Taoist was in so much pain that his entire body was twitching. ***CKU. Damn Taoist. You attacked me first. What's that treasure in the purple light? Hurry up and give it to me, or I'll beat you to death today. Lin Feng endured the pain and got up, then pounced on Wu Liang Taoist. "Go to hell, brat." Wu Liang Taoist took out a jade talisman and was about to throw it at Lin Feng. Lin Feng knew that Wu Liang Taoist was very skilled in formations, so he quickly retreated, afraid that he would fall into Wu Liang Taoist's trap. Wu Liang Taoist bared his teeth and shouted, "Brat, just you wait. Sooner or later, I'll take all of your treasures." The jade talisman cracked, and a ray of divine light enveloped Wu Liang Taoist. Then, Wu Liang Taoist rushed into the sky and disappeared in the blink of an eye. "Damn Taoist, just you wait. Sooner or later, I'll take all of your treasures." Lin Feng shouted fiercely. He did not stop and spread his golden wings and quickly flew into the distance. In a secluded place, Lin Feng sat cross-legged and took out the shimming demonic tome. The shimming demonic tome was a piece of black paper made of an unknown material. It was densely written with runes that twisted and connected together. Lin Feng was very surprised. He did not know what these runes meant, but he could feel that they were extraordinary. Lin Feng used a drop of blood to refine the shimming demonic tome, but his blood could not fuse with the book. Lin Feng then tried to refine the book with his divine will, but it also failed. The shimming demonic tome blocked Lin Feng's divine will. Unable to refine, Lin Feng frowned. The Shinming demon book was very strange. It was preventing him from absorbing it. Lin Feng couldn't help but wonder if that book was dangerous too. After thinking for a while, Lin Feng put the Shinming demon book away. He began to heal himself. Lin Feng's body was covered in injuries after the battle. He activated the Archean Dragonesque Elephant skill, and the power of the Archean Dragonesque Elephant flowed in his body. The power of the Archean Dragonesque Elephant entered his body, and Lin Feng felt his body slowly recover. At the same time, a mysterious voice came from the demonic orb while Lin Feng was recovering. "Xianming, demonic, book, appear, devour, boom." After the mysterious voice came out, the demonic orb moved slightly. Swoosh. The shimming demonic tome that Lin Feng had placed in his spirit ring appeared in Lin Feng's dantian. The demonic orb emitted a terrifying energy that shrouded the shimming demonic tome. Just like when it had devoured the fire Qilint's divine power, The demonic orb seemed to want to devour the shimming demonic tome. However, the shimming demonic tome was not simple. When the demonic orb devoured the shimming demonic tome, the runes on the shimming demonic tome began to twist. The runes turned into black evil dragons that roamed around the shimming demonic tome, letting out deep roars. The demonic orb and the shimming demonic tome confronted each other. There's no use in escaping from being devoured by fate. The voice came out from the demonic orb again. Then, the demonic orb began to devour the shimming demonic tome. An even more powerful demonic energy came out from the demonic orb. No one knew what was inside the demonic orb. Clearly, this existence was extremely terrifying. The shimming demonic tome was shrouded in demonic energy. The demonic orb wanted to devour the shimming demonic tome. However, the shimming demonic tome shone with demonic light and a blurry figure appeared. It looked like a person, but it also looked like a beast. At a closer look, it also looked like a spirit. As long as the cycle of reincarnation is not destroyed, the shimming will not die. Suddenly, a deep voice came out from the shimming demonic tome. Bang! Just as the shimming demonic tome was about to be devoured by the demonic orb, it suddenly swept out and collided with the demonic orb. Wah! Lin Feng, who was recuperating, felt as if he had been struck by lightning. He spat out mouthfuls of blood. What's going on? Lin Feng wanted to cry, but he didn't understand. Bang! In the next moment, another violent collision came from his dantian. The shimming demonic tome and the demonic orb collided again. Lin Feng was blown away by the terrifying strength of the explosion. Wah! Lin Feng spat out blood again. He felt as if his body was about to explode. It's you guys. Lin Feng felt the demonic orb and the shimming demonic tome fighting in his dantian. He wanted to cry, but no tears came out. These two strange things were actually fighting, and they didn't care about his life at all. Boom! The shimming demonic tome and the demonic orb collided for the third time. Lin Feng was sent flying and slammed into the stone wall. He felt as if his organs were about to explode. So ruthless. Do you want to kill me? Lin Feng was so angry that he gritted his teeth. He had survived so many dangers. Was he going to die in the confrontation between the demonic orb and the shimming demonic tome? Of course, he didn't want to die here. However, Lin Feng obviously couldn't control it. The demonic orb and the shimming demonic tome were accumulating power. It was obvious that they were about to collide even more fiercely. It was too terrifying. If that happened, Lin Feng might really die from the collision between the demonic orb and the shimming demonic tome. Holy Emperor Stone! Lin Feng shouted. In this moment of life and death, he summoned the Holy Emperor Stone. The Holy Emperor Stone also appeared in Lin Feng's dantian. It was originally in a dormant state. After entering Lin Feng's dantian and sensing the qi of the demonic orb and the shimming demonic tome, it immediately woke up. The Holy Emperor's blood on the Holy Emperor Stone emitted a demonic light. The Holy Emperor Stone also joined the confrontation. The three sides faced each other, but in the end, they all seemed to be afraid of each other. The demonic orb, the shimming demonic tome, and the Holy Emperor Stone gradually withdrew all their power. How lucky I'm still alive. Lin Feng lay on the ground, gasping for breath. He wanted to cry, but he couldn't. The three demonic treasures were hidden in his body, and from time to time, they would collide with each other. Lin Feng had a headache. He was worried that one day, he would really be killed by them. Lin Feng sighed. He wasn't strong enough to suppress them. He had to increase his strength quickly. When the time came, whether it was the demonic orb, the shimming demonic tome, or the Holy Emperor Stone, they would all be suppressed by him. Chapter 395. Lin Feng spent a day recuperating from his injuries. Then he calmed himself down and continued flying towards the depths of the ancient battlefield of gods and demons. Although life was cruel, he still had to continue, so he had to work hard. Lin Feng could only console himself. That night, Lin Feng was resting beside a small stream when he heard the sound of something flying through the air. A few cultivators were flying towards him from afar. Lin Feng quickly extinguished the bonfire and jumped onto a tree. He didn't know who they were, and the ancient battlefield of gods and demons was full of treachery. He had to be on guard at all times, or he would die without a proper burial. The cultivators landed, fetched some water, and sat cross-legged, leaning against a tree to rest. It's said that a 10,000-year-old spirit herb has appeared in the depths. Is that true? A cultivator asked. That's what the rumors say. Many people are rushing over. If it's really a 10,000-year-old spirit herb, then it's too shocking. It's a treasure that can bring back the dead. As long as a person is still breathing, such a treasure can bring them back to life. That's right. Let's go and take a look tomorrow. The cultivators discussed for a while, then quickly went to rest. Lin Feng, who was hiding in the tree, heard their conversation and was shocked. A 10,000-year-old spirit herb? Lin Feng was shocked. He knew what a 10,000-year-old spirit herb represented. A 3,000-year-old spirit herb was enough to make people fight to the death for it, let alone a 10,000-year-old spirit herb. 5,000 years was enough to change the world. 10,000 years. How many years had passed? A 10,000-year-old spirit herb was naturally unimaginably powerful. I'll go and take a look too. Lin Feng narrowed his eyes. If he had the chance, he hoped that he could snatch the 10,000-year-old spirit herb. Of course, it sounded a bit unbelievable. The next day, the cultivators set off, and Lin Feng followed behind them. It was a mountain range. It was said that the 10,000-year-old spirit herb was located in the depths. At this moment, many cultivators had already gathered. The restrictions have been opened. Some peerless experts of the younger generation have entered. They want to snatch the 10,000-year-old spirit herb before the experts of the older generation arrive. A cultivator said. Many experts of the older generation were currently in the depths of the ancient battlefield of gods and demons, and this place was in the central region. Upon hearing the news of the 10,000-year-old spiritual herb, those experts of the older generation would definitely rush over, but it would take time. This was an opportunity for many of the top experts of the younger generation. Uncle, may I know what the 10,000-year-old spiritual herb inside is? Lin Feng looked at a middle-aged cultivator. This was a cultivator of the martial general realm. He did not enter the depths of the restriction, but purely came to watch the show. This kind of person was quite self-aware and understood his own ability, so he would not lose his life in vain. It's said to be the 9-dragon fruit. The middle-aged cultivator said. 9 dragons fruit? Lin Feng widened his eyes and said, There's actually such a thing in the world? He could feel his heart thumping wildly. Lin Feng was an alchemist, so he had obviously heard of the 9-dragon fruit. The 9-dragon fruit was originally called the 9-dragon celestial medicine, but because it had been contaminated with dragon blood, it had mutated and become a fruit. Therefore, it was also called the 9-dragon fruit. It was said that a single 9-dragon's fruit had 9 fruits, and each fruit was equivalent to a 10,000-year-old spiritual herb. If one could obtain all 9 fruits at the same time, their effects would be equivalent to an immortal medicine that could restore one's youth and allow one to live a second life. In the past, the Fire Qilin had searched through all 3,000 continents in search of the 9-dragon's fruit, but it had been difficult to find. Now, it had appeared here. If it really was the legendary 9-dragon's fruit, then it would be too heaven-defying. Thank you for telling me, Uncle. Lin Feng flew towards the depths of the ancient battlefield. The middle-aged cultivator said, Little brother, although your cultivation is not bad, you are not strong enough to fight for the 9-dragon's fruit. You should think twice before you act. Lin Feng naturally knew that the uncle was being kind. He smiled and said, Don't worry, uncle. I'm just going to take a look. The middle-aged cultivator said, Still, you should be careful. Lin Feng nodded and bid farewell to the middle-aged cultivator. He entered the depths of the ancient battlefield. There were many cultivators lingering around, but most of them were observing. They did not enter the ancient battlefield because it was very terrifying. The distorted space-time energy was enough to destroy the physical body of a martial king. Senior sister, look, it's that boy. A few cultivators were standing in a certain area, also looking towards the ancient battlefield. It was Sun Ziyue, Lu Wuqing, and the others. Lu Wuqing had first ambushed Lin Feng and Sikong Jiayue and had been injured by Lin Feng. Later, when he had been fighting for the violet jade snake grass, he had been injured by Lin Feng again. He hated Lin Feng so much that he had to grit his teeth. Now that he saw Lin Feng again, his eyes were spitting fire. This guy went in. Let's wait for him outside. Sun Ziyu said coldly. Okay, let's catch him off guard. Lu Wuqing said fiercely. That'll have to wait until he comes out alive. He's just a martial general, and he dares to go in? He's just going to die. Sun Ziyu pouted. Lin Feng entered the ancient battlefield. It was surrounded by white fog and emitted a terrifying strength. The visibility was also very low. It was probably the space-time distortion strength that the cultivators outside had mentioned. After entering, Lin Feng was shocked to find that his own pure qi had been sealed. It was a place where all kinds of power were sealed, including pure qi, earth energy, and so on. No ancient divine abilities could be used. One had to rely on one's physical body to enter this place. Fortunately, Lin Feng's physical body was strong enough, so he continued walking. The deeper he went, the greater the pressure became. Even though Lin Feng's physical body had been tempered by the ancient dragonesque elephant spell, he still felt the pressure. If he could circulate his pure qi, he would be able to use the ancient dragonesque elephant spell to condense the strength of the ancient dragonesque elephant to protect his body. But this place had sealed Lin Feng's pure qi, and he couldn't circulate it at all. He could only rely on his physical body to move forward. What's this? Lin Feng was shocked. He saw a person lying on the ground in front of him. He quickly walked over. It was a cultivator in his 20s, and he was already dead. Lin Feng examined him and found that his bones were broken. Obviously, he hadn't been able to withstand the pressure. After he had been injured, no one had been able to save him. It's really terrifying. Lin Feng took a deep breath and continued walking. The deeper he went, the more pressure Lin Feng felt. Lin Feng felt like he was suffocating. He felt that his breathing was getting faster and faster, and his footsteps were getting heavier and heavier. Fortunately, he could still persevere. After about 30 meters, he saw a few silhouettes in front of him. At the back were 3 silver-haired men. Lin Feng had seen them before. They were the geniuses of the silver-haired clan. Chapter 396. The silver-haired clan was a very ancient clan. They hadn't appeared for many years. Now, the 3 young cultivators who had appeared were extremely powerful. As he walked forward, Lin Feng saw 3 men with swords on their backs. They were cultivators from the Wanjian sect. Those who can make it here are all outstanding cultivators of the younger generation. Lin Feng sighed with emotion. These people were all geniuses. They were the successors of ancient clans. Although they were young, they were all cultivators of the yin-yang realm. They could already compete with the older cultivators. Lin Feng was able to make it here because his physical body was too strong. In this forbidden space, it was difficult to use any other power except for his physical body. Lin Feng continued to walk forward under the great pressure. It was extremely difficult for him to move because the power in the depths of the space was too terrifying. He felt suffocated and under great pressure. The others weren't much better off than Lin Feng. They were indeed powerful, but in terms of physical strength, they definitely couldn't compare to Lin Feng's physical body. And they had lost their powerful Dharma power. They were also in great trouble. Lin Feng stepped forward and went deeper. Soon, he saw a few more cultivators. One of them was wearing golden clothes. It was Genie Qin, the top genius of the Divine Prefecture in the East Province. The other person was Qin Mubai, a man in snow-white clothes. Lin Feng didn't know who he was, but he was probably a young genius as well. Lin Feng didn't know who he was, but he knew he was a young genius. Hua Shirua and Hu Meixian were among them. It's you. Hua Shirua was shocked when she saw Lin Feng. Back then, Lin Feng had stolen one of the 3 treasures in the tomb and had been chased by dozens of powerful cultivators. Now, he was safe and sound. She was very surprised. Lin Feng nodded at Hua Shirua. Genie Qin, Qin Mubai, and the others looked over and frowned slightly. They also recognized Lin Feng. This surprised them. This kid was only a general. How did he get in? Even though they had arrived here, they were already feeling exhausted. Off in the distance, there were 5 or 6 cultivators, all of whom were chosen of the younger generation. They were also looking at Lin Feng. It's him. He snatched a treasure from the tomb and is still living so freely. I can't believe it. How did he escape from the clutches of so many great figures? Some of the geniuses exclaimed in disbelief. Even if they were in Qin Wentian's shoes, wouldn't it be as difficult as ascending to the heavens if they wanted to escape? But Lin Feng did it. In other directions, there were a few other middle-aged cultivators. They were also very powerful. They also looked at Lin Feng. He's the kid who stole the treasures from many strong cultivators. The middle-aged cultivator was surprised. Almost everyone's eyes were fixed on Lin Feng. Why aren't you leaving the ancient battlefield of gods and demons? Why are you still wandering around? Hu Meixian knew Lin Feng, so she couldn't help but say this. She felt that Lin Feng was really audacious. Lin Feng smiled and said, I didn't want to leave you, Xian. That's why I came back to see you. This guy actually dares to tease Hu Meixian. Many people couldn't help but mutter to themselves. The charming fox immortal was not someone that anyone could take advantage of. However, the charming fox immortal did not seem to be angry. Instead, she giggled and said, If you really miss me, why don't you hand over that treasure of yours to me? I want to, but I don't have the strength. I sold it. Lin Feng said. You sold it? Hu Meixian couldn't believe it. Many people looked at Lin Feng in astonishment. Well, I'm penniless right now, so I sold it to a great figure. Lin Feng said. Pfft. Many people rolled their eyes. Obviously, they didn't believe Lin Feng's nonsense. Little boy, did you really sell that thing? Someone laughed coldly. The young man in cyan clothes walked towards Lin Feng. When Lin Feng saw that he didn't look happy, he frowned and said, I sold him. It has nothing to do with you, said the young man in cyan clothes. You dare talk to me like that? How impudent. Normally, you wouldn't even be qualified to talk to me like that. The young man in cyan clothes looked indifferent. He's from the Yuhua Celestial Dynasty. Try not to get into a conflict with him. At that moment, a voice rang out in Lin Feng's head. It was Hu Meixian's voice. The Yuhua Celestial Dynasty. Wasn't that Huangfu Tianqiong's group? Lin Feng hadn't thought that the young man in front of him would also be from the Yuhua Celestial Dynasty, and it seemed that he wanted to attack him. Lin Feng looked at the young man indifferently and pursed his lips. Too many people think they're infallible. They don't know that they're frogs in a well. You're mocking me. You're audacious, but do you know the consequences of doing that? Said Huangfu Yin coldly. Lin Feng said indifferently, Don't think too highly of yourself. You're just us. This guy. Hu Meixian was speechless. She had warned him, but he hadn't listened. He still dared to challenge Huangfu Yin. Hee. Huangfu Yin can't control himself anymore. Huangfu Yin is so fast. If he hadn't attacked, I would have. Some people whispered to each other. It seemed like there were more than one or two people who wanted to attack Lin Feng. They were all coveting the treasures Lin Feng had obtained from the ancient grave. Now that Huangfu Yin had attacked, they were all waiting for an opportunity. If the treasures were still there, it wouldn't be too late to steal them. Many people were thinking this way. Huangfu Yan's eyes were cold. He said icily, Are you provoking me? Do you know what the consequences of provoking me, Huangfu? Lin Feng said indifferently. I've never provoked anyone, but when people provoke me, I won't let them. You think you can do that? Said Huangfu Yin disdainfully. He could sense Lin Feng's cultivation level. He was only a general. Huangfu Yin could kill a cultivator of that level with a flick of his finger. Lin Feng said indifferently, You'd better stay away from me. I've been very irritable lately, and I might do something to some ignorant people. Lin Feng was mocking Huangfu Yin. If he had met Huangfu Yin outside, Lin Feng wouldn't have fought him head-on, but in this place, he had nothing to fear. Huangfu Yan's magic power had been sealed, so Lin Feng wasn't afraid of anyone present when it came to physical strength. Boy, your stupidity and ignorance have angered me, said Huangfu Yin coldly. Huangfu Yan's eyes were cold. This person was indeed powerful. Even under such pressure, he could still walk as if he were flying. Boom. Huangfu Yin attacked, and his palm shot towards Lin Feng. His attack was very slow, and everyone could clearly see the trajectory of the attack. This casual attack was aimed at Lin Feng, and it was obvious that Huangfu Yin had done it deliberately. He wanted to use this method to humiliate Lin Feng. Chapter 397. Huang Fu Yan's attack was accompanied by the sound of wind and thunder. Not only was his cultivation high, but his body was also abnormally strong. Although his attack seemed slow, there were many hidden changes hidden within it. It would not be easy to dodge it. Just as the attack was about to hit Lin Feng suddenly moved. Lin Feng dodged to the left and avoided Huang Fu Yan's attack. Then, he formed a fist with his right hand and punched at Huang Fu Yan. Boom! A powerful force erupted in an instant. The speed of this punch was extremely fast, and its power was immense. Lin Feng's body had been tempered by the archaic dragon-esque elephant art. His body had surpassed that of a fiend god. Lin Feng had also tempered his body for a long time in the lightning cavern. When Lin Feng had just broken through to the martial general realm, his body was already comparable to a yin-yang realm expert. Now that Lin Feng's cultivation had increased by many times, his body had also improved greatly. His body had probably surpassed that of a yin-yang realm cultivator. It was not something that Huang Fu Yin could compare with. What? Many people were shocked. They had not expected Lin Feng to dodge Huang Fu Yan's attack. Moreover, he even launched a counterattack against Huang Fu Yin. Huang Fu Yin was also shocked. He had thought that he could defeat Lin Feng with one move, but he had not expected Lin Feng to dodge his attack. Lin Feng's counterattack was even more unexpected. He quickly put his hands in front of him and used a move commonly seen in martial arts, the iron chain blockade, to block Lin Feng's attack. Bang! With a dull sound of collision, Huang Fu Yin was hit by Lin Feng. A powerful force poured into Huang Fu Yan's body. Thump, thump, thump. Huang Fu Yin was forced to retreat. Every step he took left a deep footprint on the ground. He used this method to disperse the terrifying force that had poured into his body. After retreating 6 or 7 steps, Huang Fu Yin finally stopped. Huang Fu Yin has been forced back. He's at a disadvantage. Am I seeing things? Many geniuses stared at the scene before them with their mouths agape. This was something that none of them had expected. Logically speaking, with Huang Fu Yan's strength, shouldn't he have been able to instantly kill that brat? But why did this happen? Could it be that this kid was hiding his strength? Many people could not help but guess. However, upon closer inspection, they discovered that Lin Feng's cultivation was indeed at the martial general realm. It did not seem like he was hiding his strength. However, how could a martial general cultivator possibly defeat Huang Fu Yi? This filled their hearts with doubt. On the other hand, Huang Fu Yan's face was extremely gloomy. He seemed to feel many strange gazes looking at him. Those gazes seemed to be mixed with ridicule and disdain. He was at the yin-yang realm, but he was actually pushed back by a martial general realm cultivator. How could Huang Fu Yin bear this? It was as if he had suffered a great humiliation. Die, brat! Huang Fu Yin shouted coldly. He suddenly stomped on the ground, and his body shot towards Lin Feng like a cannonball. Huang Fu Yan's body moved, and like a dragon crossing a river, he rushed towards Lin Feng. This was a martial arts technique. His body was like a dragon's bow. Huang Fu Yin seemed to have transformed into a human-shaped Tyrannosaurus Rex. In an instant, he arrived in front of Lin Feng and attacked Lin Feng fiercely. Collapsing fist. Lin Feng's expression was indifferent. He did not dodge or evade. Instead, he used a martial arts technique of his own. In terms of physical strength, Lin Feng was not afraid at all. Bang! The collapsing fist and Huang Fu Yan's attack collided fiercely. Suddenly, 2 forces, one bright and one dark, were formed. The bright force blocked Huang Fu Yan's attack, while the dark force shook Huang Fu Yan's body. Huang Fu Yin was attacked by the dark force. His face turned pale, and he was forced to retreat by Lin Feng's punch. What a strong physical body. This guy's physical body is even stronger than Huang Fu Yan's. Is he really just a general? Many people cried out in alarm. The collision between Lin Feng and Huang Fu Yin was actually a collision between their physical bodies. The physical body was the main force, and the martial arts techniques were secondary. If one's physical body was strong enough, they could destroy their opponent in an instant. Lin Feng stepped forward and looked indifferently at Huang Fu Yin. He said coldly, "Is this all you've got? If that's all you've got, then you really don't know what's good for you." Huang Fu Yin said coldly, "Brat, You think too highly of yourself. Boom. Suddenly, Huang Fu Yan's body emitted a terrifying aura. Force. This was the force that a yin-yang cultivator could condense. He could use his force to suppress others. Force was a very strange state. However, the force condensed by some powerhouses was often extremely destructive. Huang Fu Yan is going to get serious after condensing his own force, a Sky Pride expert murmured. This was Huang Fu Yan's peak state. Because of the forbidden space, Huang Fu Yan couldn't use his own magic power. However, the force of a yin-yang cultivator was still very powerful. Huang Fu Yan walked towards Lin Feng step by step. Each time he took a step, his force became more and more powerful. What a strong force! Huang Fu Yan suffered a loss at the hands of that brat, so he's furious. Because of his anger, his force is much stronger than usual. Some geniuses cried out in alarm. Everyone looked at Lin Feng and Huang Fu Yan. The powerful middle-aged cultivators felt the force condensed in Huang Fu Yan's body, and their expressions changed drastically. This force was too terrifying. It made them feel like they were suffocating. He can condense such a powerful force. Huang Fu Yan really isn't simple. No wonder he's a top genius of the Yuhua Immortal Dynasty. That's right. Huang Fu Yan is one of the young cultivators that the Yuhua Immortal Dynasty has been focusing on. It looks like that brat will definitely lose. Many people were discussing this. Huang Fu Yan's force had shocked them, let alone Lin Feng. They didn't think that Lin Feng could resist Huang Fu Yan's force. Brat, it's time to end this. Huang Fu Yan's expression was indifferent as he stepped forward. His body emitted a terrifying and cold aura. This was his force. His force directly moved towards Lin Feng. However, many people were dumbstruck when they saw that Lin Feng was unimpeded by Huang Fu Yan's force. It was as if he wasn't affected by the force at all. Lin Feng quickly arrived in front of Huang Fu Yan and threw a punch. You're ignoring my force? Impossible. Huang Fu Yan couldn't believe his eyes. Lin Feng looked indifferent. Why is it impossible? Could it be that you're the only one with force? As soon as he finished speaking, boom, an even more terrifying force erupted from Lin Feng's body. Lin Feng's force was filled with an indestructible sharpness. It directly broke through Huang Fu Yan's force. Then, Lin Feng threw a punch at Huang Fu Yan. Huang Fu Yan tried to block, but Lin Feng forced him back. However, Lin Feng didn't stop. He continued to advance, and the force in his body grew stronger and stronger. Huang Fu Yan's face turned extremely pale. After 9 consecutive punches, Huang Fu Yan finally couldn't resist any longer. He was blown away by Lin Feng and fell to the ground with a thump. Lin Feng strode forward and stomped on Huang Fu Yan's body. He looked indifferently at Huang Fu Yan and said, "You're too weak." Huang Fu Yan had never been humiliated like this before. He was so angry that he coughed up a mouthful of blood. Chapter 398. Everybody was in a daze. They couldn't believe what they were seeing. Who would dare to believe that this was real? Huang Fu Yan was one of the most outstanding cultivators of the younger generation. He was a proud son of the heavens, but now, he had been defeated by a cultivator of the martial general realm. He had even been trampled on by that cultivator. Is that boy really a martial general realm cultivator? Why do I feel like he's even more ferocious than a cultivator of the yin-yang layer? Someone whispered. He couldn't believe it. His heart was filled with astonishment. In the forbidden space, everybody's dermic powers had been sealed. In terms of physical strength, the stronger the cultivation level, the stronger the physical strength. But Lin Feng had used his physical strength to crush Huang Fu Yan. They had mistakenly thought that Lin Feng was strong enough to crush Huang Fu Yan, but Lin Feng had concealed his cultivation level. Qin Mubai's clothes were as white as snow. He frowned slightly. Genie Qin's eyes were cold. He also looked at them sharply. The 3 young geniuses of the silver-haired clan looked at them indifferently. The 3 strong cultivators of the Wanjian sect whispered to each other. Hua Shirua's beautiful eyes shone. Hu Mei Xian whispered, "How can this guy's physical strength be so strong? And he can even condense force. What a monstrous guy." She had known Lin Feng for a long time, So she knew that Lin Feng's cultivation level was at the martial general realm. He definitely wasn't at the yin-yang layer. Because she knew about Lin Feng's cultivation level, she was even more astonished. Boy, I'm a member of the Yuhua Celestial Dynasty's imperial family. How dare you hit me? You. Huang Fuyin gnashed his teeth. He wanted to threaten Lin Feng, but Lin Feng stepped on his face. Lin Feng cursed. How dare you call yourself a member of the Yuhua Celestial Dynasty's imperial family? The Yuhua Celestial Dynasty is an ancient dynasty of the immortal continent. Every member of the imperial family is a dragon or a phoenix among men. Look at you. You're just a weakling from top to bottom. How dare you pretend to be one? I've seen shameless people, but I've never seen someone as shameless as you. As he said this, he stomped on Huang Fu Yan's face with his right foot, causing Huang Fu Yan's face to deform. The corners of the mouths of many people twitched violently when they saw this scene. Their eyelids twitched violently as well. This brat was truly too ruthless. He actually used such an excuse to refute Huang Fu Yi. If the Yuhua Immortal Dynasty knew about this, they would be too embarrassed to make a move against him. If not, wouldn't they be saying that the Yuhua Immortal Dynasty nurtured a good-for-nothing? Huang Fuyin was even more furious. He was about to spit out a mouthful of blood when Lin Feng stepped on it and forced it back into his stomach. His whole body twitched violently and his eyes turned white. It seemed as if he would die soon. Lin Feng kicked Huang Fuyin and sent him flying. Huang Fuyin spat out a mouthful of blood from his chest and came back to life. Brat, I'll kill you. Huang Fuyan's face was distorted as he roared and rushed towards Lin Feng. Lin Feng lifted his foot and kicked Huang Fujiang away. Crack, crack. Many of Huang Fuyan's bones were broken. He slammed on the ground and gasped for breath. If you provoke me again, I'll kill you. Lin Feng's mouth twitched. Everyone looked at what was happening in front of them in a daze. Huang Fuyin was a top-notch heaven's pride. But now, he had been beaten half to death. Huang Fuyin hated Lin Feng to the core, but he had been seriously injured by Lin Feng. He couldn't endure it anymore. He had to find a place to heal himself, otherwise, he might really die. He crawled up from the ground and glared at Lin Feng with hatred, then walked away. Lin Feng frowned. There were too many people in this place. Otherwise, he would have killed Huang Fuyin. Otherwise, he would have become a huge threat. However, Lin Feng didn't want to kill him. The Yuhua Celestial Dynasty wasn't something he could provoke. After Huang Fuyin left, everybody looked away from Lin Feng. They were all secretly vigilant against Lin Feng because Lin Feng's strength was too astonishing. No matter what his cultivation level was, his battle prowess was enough to threaten everybody. Therefore, many people were afraid of Lin Feng. Boom. Genie Qin continued walking. He hadn't forgotten that his goal was the 9-dragon fruit. As for the battle between Lin Feng and Huang Fuyin, it was just a small interlude. The others also continued walking towards the depths of the forbidden area. The deeper they went, the more terrifying the pressure became. After walking for a dozen meters, Lin Feng felt as if an ancient mountain was pressing down on him. It was extremely difficult for him to move. Kacha, kacha. Some people had already suffered a blow, and cracking sounds could be heard from their bodies. It was a genius from the silver-haired clan. He was the first one who couldn't bear the pressure. He's a genius of the yin-yang layer, murmured Lin Feng. The 3 cultivators from the silver-haired clan were all yin-yang layer cultivators. They were extremely strong, but now they were about to reach their limit. Lin Feng was astonished. Many people looked grave. They were also under immense pressure. The pressure wasn't any weaker than the one from the silver-haired clan, but they were obviously stronger. Look, there's a pond in front of us, shouted someone in surprise. Even though there was a white fog, they could still see a pond in front of them. Everybody was excited. Were they finally going to reach the 9-dragon fruit? It was a 9-dragon fruit. It could prolong one's life and make one's flesh grow back. 9 dragon fruits could restore one's youth and allow one to live another life. What kind of terrifying medicinal effect was that? Nobody wanted to give up. Even the geniuses from the silver-haired clan who were injured didn't want to give up. Everyone struggled to make their way into the depths. Kacha, kacha. Very quickly, the sound of bodies cracking spread in the air again. This time, It was a genius from the 10,000 Swords sect. His body was also cracking. Every step was extremely difficult, but nobody gave up. After a while, a few more people's bodies cracked and blood flowed out, but nobody gave up. They all gritted their teeth and continued walking. The 9-dragon fruit wasn't far from them. They were about to reach the 9-dragon fruit. It would be a pity to give up at that moment. Lin Feng took a deep breath. He was also under immense pressure, but he felt like he could still withstand it. He had to thank the ancient dragonesque elephant formula for tempering his body. Of course, Lin Feng's life in the Thunder Cavern had also been extremely difficult. Kacha, the young genius from the silver-haired clan's body was cracking more and more. He looked like a piece of porcelain that was about to break. However, at that moment, a silver light gushed out of his body and enveloped him, preventing his body from cracking further. Lin Feng was slightly surprised. Was that the silver-haired clan's innate ability? No. However, it was at this moment that an extremely horrified shriek was heard. It was from a genius from the Myriad Sword sect. He looked at his body that was cracking apart in horror. In the next moment, a loud bang was heard as the body of that genius from the Myriad Sword sect shattered into pieces. Fresh blood spurted out as he died on the spot. Chapter 399. Junior Brother. The other two geniuses from the Myriad Sword sect cried out in grief. Their junior brother had died right next to them, but they couldn't do anything to stop it. After so many years of cultivating together, the memories of the past surfaced in their minds. Now that their junior brother's body had been reduced to minced meat and died in such a tragic manner, they felt incomparable pain. Lin Feng thought to himself, that silver-haired man had a racial talent. A silver light protected his body, so he didn't die. But we humans don't have racial talents, so the Myriad Sword sect's genius died on the spot. How sad. Lin Feng felt the difficulty of cultivation. This was a path full of thorns and dangers. The slightest carelessness could lead to eternal damnation. The others looked indifferent as they continued walking. Head. Lin Feng picked up the head of the Myriad Sword sect's genius, because it had fallen not far from Lin Feng. This was probably the best preserved part of that genius body. He handed the head to one of the Myriad Sword sect's geniuses. Thank you. The cultivator was heartbroken. My condolences. Lin Feng patted him on the shoulder and continued walking with difficulty. The two geniuses from the Myriad Sword sect were greatly affected by their junior brother's death, so they couldn't hold on any longer. In order to go deeper, not only did they need a strong physical body, they also needed a strong willpower. Now that their willpower had been shaken by their junior brother's death, they finally chose to withdraw. The others continued to walk deeper into the forest. A terrifying pressure enveloped Lin Feng, and he felt like his waist was about to be bent. His whole body was in pain. This kind of pressure was enough to make a person collapse. But Lin Feng gritted his teeth and persevered. He didn't want to give up. My body. One of the geniuses had an ugly expression. He felt like his body was about to reach its limit. He thought of the Myriad Sword sect's genius who had died tragically, and his mind was in a daze. Bang! The moment he relaxed his mind, he was sent flying by the terrifying pressure in the depths of the forbidden space. He spat out 3 mouthfuls of blood in midair. His essence, chi, and soul collapsed. He could not hold on any longer and could only choose to retreat. At a time like this, one's will cannot be shaken. Once it is shaken, the consequences will be the same as that cultivator. They will definitely be swept away by the terrifying power of the forbidden space. Lin Feng murmured. He gritted his teeth and persevered. Although it was extremely difficult, he still walked step by step towards the depths. Bang! At this time, half of an expert's body exploded. He suffered a heavy blow, and his body couldn't withstand the pressure of the forbidden space. He groaned and quickly retreated, dodging this section. What a powerful forbidden space. Lin Feng murmured. He didn't feel any fear. Instead, his gaze became even more resolute. In a short distance of 20 meters, many people were eliminated. For example, the 2 silver-haired geniuses, the 3 middle-aged cultivators, and the others were all eliminated. In the end, only 9 people remained and entered the depths of the forbidden space. However, those who were able to survive until the end were definitely the most powerful people. Finally, Lin Feng arrived at the depths of the forbidden space. In the end, those who had persevered also arrived at the depths of the forbidden space. There was a pond in the depths of the forbidden space. It was very unusual. The soil inside was surprisingly golden. Lin Feng didn't know what kind of soil it was for it to have such a color. This is golden sand. It's said that it comes from the Milky Way of the undying world. Hua Shiruo murmured. Of course, this was just a rumor. It was hard to say whether it was true or not. At that moment, people saw Lin Feng jump up and start digging up a large amount of golden sand. Because it was difficult to use spiritual rings to collect golden sand in this place, Lin Feng took off his jacket and poured the golden sand into it. Then, he put the jacket on himself. What is that little boy doing? Many people's mouths twitched violently. Didn't you say that this is from the undying world? I'll collect some. Maybe I can sell it for a good price. Lin Feng grinned. Everyone rolled their eyes. They were all of noble birth, so they naturally wouldn't be like Lin Feng and collect golden sand to sell. Moreover, they couldn't take off their jackets and carry the golden sand out. That would be disgraceful. However, Lin Feng didn't think that way. He obviously wasn't really selling it. It didn't matter whether the golden sand came from the legendary undying world or not. However, Lin Feng was very clear about one thing. The golden sand had appeared in the depths of the forbidden space. This was enough to prove the value of the golden sand. It was definitely a priceless treasure. Perhaps the power it contained was far beyond what people could imagine. Mei Xian frowned. There's no 9 dragon fruit here. Everyone looked at the pond. Genie-chin said softly, maybe it's down there. Everyone was startled and jumped into the pond. They didn't care about their status as geniuses or beauties anymore. They all started digging up the golden sand in the pond. They wanted to dig out the 9 dragon fruit. Everyone dug up the golden sand. Suddenly, a resplendent golden light shone from below. 9 small golden dragons were lying at the bottom of the pond. They were now awakened. Heavens, the 9 dragon fruit turned into 9 small golden dragons. Is it trying to defy the heavens? Everyone shouted in astonishment. They all pounced on the 9 small golden dragons. Roar! At that moment, the 9 small golden dragons let out loud dragon roars and soared into the sky, swinging their tails. Bang, bang, bang. Everyone was swept away by the small golden dragons. These 9 small golden dragons weren't ordinary. They possessed astonishing strength. After sweeping everyone away, the 9 small golden dragons quickly fled outside. Not good. Everyone's expression changed. They were different from the small golden dragons. The small golden dragons weren't affected by the forbidden space, but Lin Feng and the others were suppressed. If they escaped, they wouldn't be able to catch the small golden dragons. Everyone chased after the small golden dragons. Lin Feng locked onto a small golden dragon, but the forbidden space's pressure was too great. He couldn't catch up. Lin Feng's expression was gloomy. Did he really have to let the small golden dragon escape? Lin Feng suddenly thought of his soul sword. He didn't know if he could use it successfully. With a thought, he activated his soul sword. To Lin Feng's delight, he succeeded. He hit a small golden dragon and turned it into a golden fruit. Lin Feng quickly flew over and grabbed it. When the others saw that Lin Feng had used a soul secret technique and obtained a 9 dragon fruit, they were shocked. They also used soul secret techniques and attacked the small golden dragons. These people were from large factions, so they naturally knew how to use soul secret techniques. However, the small golden dragons were different. They seemed to have a mind of their own. Golden light soared into the sky and enveloped them, blocking the soul attacks. After that, the small golden dragons rushed into various corners of the forbidden space and disappeared. Some people went to look for them, while others stared coldly at Lin Feng. Kid, you can't take the 9 dragon fruit all by yourself. Why don't you share it with us? Said a genius. He stepped forward and pressured Lin Feng. He was the successor of an ancient holy land. 2 other geniuses and a middle-aged man stepped forward and surrounded Lin Feng. The essence of a single 9 dragon fruit is enough to be divided into several portions. Brother, you wouldn't mind sharing it with us, right? Said the young genius indifferently. If Lin Feng dared refuse, they'd attack him together. Lin Feng didn't have the courage to do so. Chapter 400. Not everyone would do that. Genie Qin, Qin Mubai, Hu Mei Xian, and Hua Shirua all entered the white fog of the forbidden space and disappeared without a trace. Obviously, they were going to look for the small golden dragons that had escaped. Although the chances of finding them were low, they couldn't do something like steal someone else's fruit. Lin Feng said indifferently, "Is this how magnanimous you all are? You didn't get the 9 dragon fruit, so you want to steal it from someone else? No matter what, you are all heirs of ancient organizations. Aren't you afraid that people will laugh at you for doing such a thing? Aren't you afraid that you'll embarrass the ancient organizations behind you? The way of heaven is to take from those in excess to make up for those in deficiency. The way of man is to take from those in deficiency to make up for those in excess. The world of cultivators is a place of mutual deception. What's there to be surprised about?" One of the sky prides sneered with a cold look on his face. Lin Feng said indifferently, "That's a good reason. In the end, the world of cultivators follows the law of the jungle. It sounds cruel, but it's the law of nature." The middle-aged cultivator said, "Since you understand the rules of the world of cultivators, you should cooperate with us. Do you think you can escape from us?" "I want to see if I can," said Lin Feng indifferently. As soon as he finished speaking, Lin Feng attacked. He instantly shot towards the middle-aged cultivator. "Kid, do you want to die?" The middle-aged cultivator sneered. He wasn't afraid at all. He threw a punch at Lin Feng. Bang, 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 bang. The two of them quickly exchanged 4 punches. This was a battle of physical strength. Punches landed on flesh, and the sound of collision was heavy and powerful. After the 4 punches, Lin Feng and the middle-aged cultivator both took 3 steps back. Lin Feng frowned slightly. This middle-aged cultivator was extraordinarily strong. He was much stronger than Huang Fuyin, who Lin Feng had defeated earlier. "Good kid. No wonder Huang Fuyin lost to you. You have such a powerful physical body." The middle-aged cultivator's expression sank. The middle-aged cultivator was a loose cultivator. His name was Lu Yuanqing. Although he was a loose cultivator, he was exceptionally powerful. He had already reached the peak of the yin-yang realm. Therefore, Lin Feng actually blocked his attack, which made him abnormally shocked. The prodigy who first showed hostility and threatened Lin Feng was called Xingming. As for the other 2, one of them was called Zhang Chu, and the other was called Lu Yu. They were all from ancient families. Xingming said coldly, "Let's attack together and get rid of this brat. He's acquainted with Hu Mei Xian, and we don't know what will happen once she and the others arrive." The others also nodded. The 4 experts split into 4 directions and attacked Lin Feng. Although Lin Feng's physical body was strong enough, facing the attacks of 4 people, it was as difficult as ascending to the heavens. However, Lin Feng didn't seem worried at all. His expression was cold and indifferent. With a thought, Lin Feng established a connection with the primordial sage Emperor Qiongqi's avatar. Roar. With a deafening roar, the primordial sage Emperor Qiongqi's avatar was summoned by Lin Feng. The huge Qiongqi immediately pounced on Xingming and the other 2. At the same time, Lin Feng unleashed his full strength. He wanted to get rid of the middle-aged cultivator as soon as possible. That way, Xingming and the other 2 would be much easier to deal with. "That's an avatar?" Xingming and the other 2 were shocked. Avatars were extremely difficult to refine. Even they hadn't managed to do so, but Lin Feng had actually managed to do so. This shocked them, but the 3 of them then sneered. Xingming and the other 2 were very confident in themselves. They believed that they could easily get rid of Lin Feng's avatar. However, after exchanging blows, Xingming and the other 2 were shocked. This was because their combined attacks on the avatar were unable to break through. Instead, the avatar sent them flying with a swipe of its claw. They couldn't believe it. A cold light flashed in their eyes, and they rushed forward again, wanting to get rid of the primordial sage Emperor Qiongqi's avatar. At the same time, Lin Feng rushed toward Lu Yuanqing. He quickly closed in and punched at Lu Yuanqing. "Kid, you're full of flaws." Lu Yuanqing sneered. Naturally, he could see the flaws in Lin Feng's body with a single glance. Lu Yuanqing sent a palm strike at Lin Feng. Bang! This strike landed heavily on Lin Feng's body. Lu Yuanqing thought that Lin Feng would be beaten half to death by his palm strike, but Lin Feng blocked his attack. Lu Yuanqing was shocked. He didn't expect Lin Feng's physical body to be so strong that he was fine after taking a blow from him. "It's my turn." Lin Feng sneered and punched at Lu Yuanqing. Bang! The powerful punch landed heavily on Lu Yuanqing's chest. Gotcha! Lu Yuanqing took Lin Feng's attack and was blown away by Lin Feng's punch. Wah! Lu Yuanqing coughed up blood in midair. He was blown a dozen meters away and crashed on the ground. His chest had caved in, and he had been severely injured. Not good. Xing Ming, Zhang Chu, and Lu Yu's expressions suddenly changed. They hadn't thought that Lin Feng would be able to defeat Lu Yuanqing so quickly. Lu Yuanqing was the strongest among the four of them. They realized that they had caused a huge problem. This kid was extremely strange. His cultivation level wasn't high, but he had so many tricks up his sleeves. Could it be that he was hiding his cultivation level? However, Xing Ming and the others didn't think so. Lin Feng's cultivation level really wasn't high. Lin Feng had already rushed over. He locked onto Lu Yu and attacked ferociously. He didn't even try to defend himself. It was as if he was fighting with his life on the line. "I'll deal with this clone. You two deal with this kid," shouted Xing Ming. He attacked the Qiongqi clone while Zhang Chu and Lu Yu faced Lin Feng. Seeing Lin Feng take the initiative to attack them, Lu Yu looked indifferent and attacked Lin Feng. Zhang Chu went behind Lin Feng and attacked Lin Feng. Huh, that kid isn't dodging? Zhang Chu was puzzled, but then he smiled ferociously. In his opinion, Lin Feng was courting death. Bang! Lin Feng and Lu Yu exchanged blows. Lin Feng grabbed Lu Yu with his left hand and punched towards Lu Yu's chest. Lu Yu's attack was very fast. His punch landed on Lin Feng's body. In a battle of physical strength, there was no technique involved. Lu Yu smiled complacently, but a moment later, his eyes were filled with fear. Lin Feng didn't seem injured at all. A moment later, Lin Feng's punch landed on Lu Yu's chest. Gotcha! Lu Yu's chest caved in from Lin Feng's punch. He was sent flying, coughing up blood 3 times in a row before crashing to the ground and twitching violently. Chapter 401. Lu Yu was beaten half to death by Lin Feng's attack. He no longer had the strength to fight. At this time, Zhang Chu had already arrived behind Lin Feng and punched towards Lin Feng. At this time, Lin Feng did not have any defense, so he could only take Zhang Chu's attack head-on. With a loud bang, Zhang Chu's attack fiercely hit Lin Feng's body, and a powerful force instantly erupted. Zhang Chu's face showed a cold expression. In his opinion, without any defense, Lin Feng would be seriously injured if not killed. But who would have thought that after being hit by Zhang Chu's attack, Lin Feng's body only staggered a little. Zhang Chu's attack was very powerful, but no matter how powerful it was just a physical attack, and he could not use his own spiritual power to cast a divine ability to deal with Lin Feng, so it did not cause much damage to Lin Feng at all. Lin Feng suddenly turned around and looked at Zhang Chu with a cold face. "Grandson, you hit me once. This young master will return 10 punches to you." As soon as his voice fell, Lin Feng rushed towards Zhang Chu. "You! Impossible!" Zhang Chu cried out in horror. He could not believe what he saw with his eyes was real. Just now, he had used almost 100% of his strength to ruthlessly blast this brat's body. He was actually fine? How on earth did this brat cultivate his physical body? While Zhang Chu was trembling in fear, Lin Feng had already rushed in front of him. He did not dodge at all. He just punched towards Zhang Chu. Zhang Chu gritted his teeth and punched towards Lin Feng. Bang! Both sides fiercely hit each other. A dull and powerful collision sound came out. This was completely a collision of flesh with flesh, full of explosive power. Zhang Chu was forced back 3 steps by Lin Feng. He already showed the intention to retreat. Such an abnormal body, he was not a match at all. In this kind of life and death battle, how could there be the slightest intention to retreat? Once the intention to retreat was born, his fighting spirit would be instantly disintegrated, and at that time, his combat strength would sharply decrease. On the other hand, Lin Feng became more and more courageous. He stepped forward, his body exuding a powerful aura, enveloping Zhang Chu. Lin Feng quickly approached Zhang Chu's side. He punched towards Zhang Chu one punch after another. Both sides continuously collided with each other for more than 10 times. Finally, Lin Feng found an opportunity. His fist hit Zhang Chu's chin. His face was almost smashed. His body flew upside down. Lin Feng bounced up and kicked his leg. Along with a loud bang, Lin Feng's leg fiercely hit Zhang Chu's abdomen. Zhang Chu's body was sent flying like a cannonball. He vomited blood in midair, fell to the ground, and fainted. How is this possible? Xingming, who was fighting Lin Feng's Qiongqi clone, saw that Lin Feng had dealt with Lu Yu so quickly. Zhang Chu and Zhang Chu's faces became extremely gloomy. After repelling the Qiongqi clone, Xingming rushed outside. Clearly, he did not want to fight Lin Feng here. He had already seen that Lin Feng was an invincible existence in the forbidden space. But once he was out of the forbidden space, he would be able to use his spiritual power to crush this brat as easily as crushing an ant. Xingming's idea was not bad, but Lin Feng did not give Xingming a chance. His speed was faster than Xingming's. In a few breaths' time, Lin Feng had already caught up to Xingming, his fist flying towards him. Xingming was shocked. He did not expect Lin Feng's speed to be so fast. Facing Lin Feng's attack, Xingming had no choice but to deal with Lin Feng, his fist flying towards Lin Feng. A muffled sound of collision rang out as Lin Feng and Xingming collided. While the two were fighting, the Qiongqi clone had already silently hidden behind Xingming, waving his sharp claws and slapping towards Xingming. That terrifying attack was extremely powerful. At this time, Xingming felt a chill run down his spine. Although he did not see the Qiongqi clone attack him, he had already guessed it, so he wanted to escape, but it was already too late. The Qiongqi clone's huge claw ruthlessly slapped Xingming's body. Xingming felt as if he had been struck by lightning. Asterisk kacha kacha. Asterisk he didn't know how many bones in his body were broken. He fell heavily to the ground and couldn't move at all. Lin Feng waved his hand at the Qiongqi clone, and the Qiongqi clone immediately turned into a ray of light and flew into Lin Feng's body. Next, Lin Feng coldly looked at Xingming, killing intent flashing in his eyes. In any case, there was no one else here, so he might as well deal with these people, thought Lin Feng as he threw himself at Xingming. Xingming could sense Lin Feng's killing intent, and he shouted in fear, "I'm from an ancient family. If you dare touch me, you'll definitely die. Do you think I'm afraid of your threats?" Lin Feng's eyes flashed with killing intent. Just as he was about to kill Xingming, a cold voice came from the forbidden space. "Brat, you're too impudent. Since you've obtained the treasure and injured a few people, you should leave. You actually want to silence them?" When Lin Feng heard that voice, he was forced to retreat. His expression was grim. An expert's divine sense had entered the forbidden space. That expert was most likely an extremely heaven-defying expert. "All right, I'll give Senior some face and spare these people." Lin Feng nodded. He did not want to offend such a powerful expert. That expert clearly knew that he had stolen a 9-dragon fruit, but didn't seem to want to kill him for it. Lin Feng sighed in relief. If that expert had wanted to harm him, it would have been disastrous. Since that person had not killed him for the treasure, Lin Feng had to give him some face and spare Xingming and the others. Lin Feng flew outside. He did not leave through the entrance he had come out of. Instead, he left through a side peak. There were fewer people there, so it would be easier to escape. After Lin Feng came out, he disappeared into the forest. "Senior sister, look, it's just as you expected. That brat came out alive." Lu Wuqing pointed at Lin Feng. He couldn't believe it. He had heard that some Yinyang realm geniuses had died, but Lin Feng, a general, had come out alive. It was as if he had seen a ghost. Sun Ziyue had discovered an exit on the side peak by chance. Even though it was small, it was big enough for one person to leave. She had thought that if Lin Feng had come out alive, he would have definitely come out from there. Even though the chances of Lin Feng coming out alive were very slim, Sun Ziyue would not give up on trapping Lin Feng. Therefore, she had waited nearby with Lu Wuqing and the others. She had not thought that Lin Feng would actually come out alive. Sun Ziyue was very surprised. She said, "He looks like he's in a hurry. He must have obtained a treasure. Quick, take out a flying shuttle. We'll use it to chase after him. Okay. Lu Wuqing nodded and took out a palm-sized boat. He poured his true qi into it, and it quickly grew to 3 meters long and 1 meter wide. Sun Ziyue, Lu Wuqing, and the others jumped into the boat. It was the flying shuttle that Sun Ziyue had mentioned. The flying shuttle instantly turned into a ray of light and shot into the forest, chasing after Lin Feng. Chapter 402. Lin Feng had gained a lot from this trip to the forbidden space. Even though he had only obtained 1 9-dragon fruit, it was already heaven-defying enough. At a critical moment, it could save his life. Moreover, it was rumored that 1 9-dragon fruit could extend one's lifespan by 800 years. Lin Feng didn't know whether this was true or not, but he guessed that this legend should be true. If Lin Feng refined the 9-dragon fruit, his lifespan would increase to around 1,000 years, which would immediately become 1,000 years. The kings, princes, imperial concubines, and other nobles of the secular world were called 1,000 years old, but in reality, how could they be 1,000 years old? They only had a few dozen or 100 years of lifespan. Only cultivators at the yin-yang realm could truly live 1,000 years. If Lin Feng refined the 9-dragon fruit, he could also reach that level of lifespan. However, Lin Feng didn't intend to refine it because the 9-dragon fruit was too precious. Moreover, Lin Feng believed that with his talent, it was only a matter of time before he reached the yin-yang realm. At that time, he wouldn't need to waste the 9-dragon fruit, and his lifespan would already be 1,000 years. Lin Feng was like a nimble ape running through the forest. Each time he jumped, he would cross 40 to 50 meters. But at that moment, Lin Feng heard a rumbling sound. Behind him, a small boat was quickly approaching. That boat was moving as fast as lightning. What's that? Lin Feng was shocked. A flying treasure. Brat, you won't be able to escape today. A cold sneer came from the flying shuttle. Lin Feng frowned slightly when he heard that voice. It was Lu Wuqing's voice. Lu Wuqing, Sun Ziyue, and the others naturally left a deep impression on Lin Feng. Lu Wuqing was an insignificant person. Although his cultivation wasn't weak, he could only be crushed by Lin Feng. The main reason was that Sun Ziyue was unfathomable. She had already reached the Martial King realm, and she should be a high-level Martial King. Lin Feng's current cultivation, the archaic Divine Emperor Qiong Qi's clone, and his secret soul technique should be able to deal with a low-level Martial King. However, if he were to face a high-level Martial King, he would be at a great disadvantage. After all, Lin Feng's cultivation hadn't increased yet. Brat, once I catch you, I'll crush your bones. A gloomy voice came from Lu Wuqing's fellow disciples. Lin Feng's eyes were filled with coldness. The conflict between Lin Feng and Lu Wuqing was initially because Lu Wuqing had attacked Lin Feng and Xikong Jiayu by surprise and had been injured by Lin Feng. But Lu Wuqing and the others wanted to kill Lin Feng even more. This was the cruelty of the world of cultivators. Lin Feng unfolded his golden wings and quickly flew away. The flying shuttle behind him was also extremely fast. It wasn't easy to get rid of it. The two sides, one running and one chasing, flew quickly through the forest. Even with my speed, I can't get rid of the flying shuttle. It seems like it's a flying treasure. Lin Feng's eyes flashed coldly. Lin Feng didn't know where Sun Ziyue, Lu Wuqing, and the others came from, but Lin Feng was very clear about one thing. They must have come from a great power. Brat, if you stop and give me the treasure you obtained from the forbidden space, I'll spare your life. How about it? At that moment, Sun Ziyue's voice suddenly came from the flying shuttle. She seemed to have already defeated Lin Feng. Lin Feng looked indifferent. She wanted him to hand over the 9-dragon fruit? Was there something wrong with this woman's brain? Looking at the gradually darkening sky, Lin Feng's face was filled with coldness and killing intent. He replied, if I were you, I'd get lost as far as possible, because soon, you won't be able to escape even if you want to. You're about to die, and you're still boasting shamelessly. Let's see how we'll torture you when we catch you. Lu Wuqing's face began to twist. Since you don't know how to appreciate kindness, I'll have to kill you mercilessly. Sun Ziyue's enchanting and beautiful face was filled with cold killing intent. Although this woman was beautiful, she was a femme fatale. He killed decisively, and his attacks were extremely ruthless. Whoosh! The flying shuttle suddenly sped up and quickly chased after Lin Feng, but Lin Feng was even faster. He hadn't used his fastest speed yet. When the sky was completely dark, Lin Feng rushed into a huge gorge. The sky was already dark, so visibility outside was already very low, not to mention inside the gorge. It was so dark that one couldn't even see one's own fingers. When Lin Feng entered the gorge, Sun Ziyue, Lu Wuqing, and the others' expressions suddenly changed. They realized that they had lost track of Lin Feng's aura. That brat must be hiding here. Lu Wuqing gnashed his teeth and said, "Boom!" At this moment, the sound of something breaking through the air came from above. "Oh no, it's a huge rock!" A cultivator cried out in alarm. In the sky, a huge rock was falling rapidly, smashing towards the flying shuttle. "It must be that brat." Lu Wuqing's expression was gloomy, and he quickly controlled the flying shuttle to avoid the huge rock. However, one boulder after another fell from the sky and smashed towards the flying shuttle. The canyon was thousands of meters wide. One could imagine how terrifying the power of a boulder falling from the sky would be. This was because the destructive power of objects falling from the sky would increase exponentially. Although the flying shuttle kept dodging, it was still hit by a huge rock. Its formation was destroyed, and it quickly rolled in the air. The flying shuttle was a flying treasure, and its strength was that it could fly extremely fast. Chapter 403. Where do you think you're going? Lin Feng roared and quickly chased after Sun Shitong. He naturally wouldn't let Sun Shitong go. If he didn't get rid of her now, she would become a huge threat to him. The world of cultivators was filled with intrigue and deception. Sometimes, it was necessary to be heartless. If you sympathized with others, you would often die miserably. It was fine if you died, but you had to think about your loved ones. Would they be implicated? Most of the time, we didn't just live for ourselves, but also for our loved ones. That was why we had to live freely and live for a long time. Lin Feng's heart gradually grew cold. He sped up, and the distance between him and Sun Shitong grew closer and closer. Under the night sky, Sun Shitong's face was very pale. She had suffered a heavy blow and was heavily injured. It was difficult for her to fight against Lin Feng. Sun Shitong was filled with hatred. Her side clearly had the absolute advantage, but they had fallen at Lin Feng's hands. She could feel the terrifying killing intent behind her enveloping her. Only now did Sun Shitong realize how big of a mistake they had made. They had always thought that the young man's cultivation wasn't high, so he wasn't a threat. But now that she thought about it, that wasn't the case. That young man had been caught off guard by Lu Wuqing's sneak attack, but not only had he not been injured, he had even managed to injure Lu Wuqing. Then, he had stolen a violet jade snake grass from a place where many experts had gathered in the Demon Snake Mountain Range. He had come and gone as he pleased in a forbidden space where a yin-yang realm expert had died. He had even seemed to have obtained a treasure. Even if his cultivation wasn't high, his strength was absolutely terrifying. He couldn't be underestimated by ordinary people. If they had noticed this earlier, they wouldn't have clashed with him. But now, it was too late. Sun Shitong took a few healing pills, and she felt a lot more comfortable. The effects of these healing pills were excellent, but it was very unrealistic to want to heal the injuries in a short period of time and recover one's strength. Sun Shitong took a deep breath and said, "Is there a need for us to force each other to the death? How about we each take a step back today?" Lin Feng smiled coldly. "Take a step back? How can you be so shameless? You have the nerve to say such words?" "You." Sun Shitong was furious. She said coldly, "Even if I'm injured, I'm still a martial king. My cultivation is higher than yours. If I really fight with my life on the line, it's hard to say who will win." Lin Feng frowned slightly. He naturally understood what Sun Shitong said. Even so, Lin Feng would not choose to retreat. This was the best opportunity to deal with Sun Shitong. If he missed this opportunity, it would be too difficult to find another one. Lin Feng quickly chased after Sun Shitong. Without saying anything, he directly activated the Sky Tyrant Lightning Art, condensing a dense lightning power and attacking Sun Shitong. Sun Shitong's beautiful face was extremely ugly. She didn't expect Lin Feng to insist on taking her life. Sun Shidong bit her pale lips and slapped out with her palm. A large energy palm condensed in the air and slapped towards the lightning power that was attacking her. At the same time, strands of earth chi appeared on the surface of Sun Shitong's body. These strands of earth chi wrapped around her body. Lin Feng knew that this was earth chi transformed from true chi into earth chi after fusing with earth chi. Earth chi had a stronger offensive and defensive power than ordinary true chi. Although it couldn't compare to the magic power of a yin-yang realm cultivator, it was still incomparable to true chi. This was also a technique unique to martial kings. Bang! Lin Feng's Sky Tyrant Lightning Art showed its power and broke Sun Shitong's energy palm. Although Sun Shitong was powerful, she was still injured. How much strength could she display? 10%? 20%? Or 30%? The current Sun Shitong was simply not Lin Feng's opponent. After breaking Sun Shitong's energy palm, the lightning power condensed by the Sky Tyrant Lightning Art swept Sun Shitong's body. Sun Shitong was swept away, but the earth chi around her protected her, so she didn't suffer too much damage. However, such a strong impact still affected Sun Shitong. Sun Ziya's face became even paler. She gritted her teeth and sped up. Lin Feng quickly chased after Sun Shitong. Lin Feng said, "Why struggle? You can't escape from me now. You're ruthless enough to kill a delicate beauty like me? How can you be so cold-hearted?" Sun Ziya said coldly, "Ha! If I'm cold-hearted, then you're a snake." Lin Feng curled his lips. Sun Shidong knew that no matter what she said, Lin Feng wouldn't let her go, so she sped up. Suddenly, she heard the sound of water flowing. A huge waterfall appeared in front of her, and under the waterfall was a huge pool. Sun Shidong's eyes lit up. She quickly rushed down and fell into the pool below. Lin Feng also quickly rushed into the pool. Suddenly, Sun Shitong emerged from the pool. Her entire body was soaked. Her clothes were sticking to her delicate body, revealing her perfect figure. Lin Feng could clearly see how alluring her proud twin peaks were. "You're dead." Sun Shitong's expression was indifferent. She repeatedly made hand seals, and an astonishing fluctuation was transmitted from the pool. Then, a whirlpool condensed, and those whirlpools directly enveloped Lin Feng. Spirit Array Technique. You're also a Spirit Array Master. Lin Feng was slightly surprised. Sun Shitong proudly said, "That's right. I'm also a high yellow stage Spirit Array Master." The Spirit Array technique I condensed is called the Water Whirlpool Spirit Array Technique. It forms a huge whirlpool in the water and imprisons the person trapped in the whirlpool. Then, I can launch a sure kill attack. As soon as she finished speaking, Sun Shitong's movements became faster and faster. The whirlpool in Lin Feng's hand also became stronger and stronger. He seemed to be imprisoned by the huge whirlpool, unable to move. Sun Shitong's charming face revealed an extremely cold expression. She quickly swam towards Lin Feng and arrived in front of him. She attacked Lin Feng with her palm, wanting to take advantage of the fact that Lin Feng was imprisoned by the whirlpool to take his life. However, just as Sun Shitong was extremely pleased with herself and thought that she was about to succeed, suddenly, the whirlpool that imprisoned Lin Feng directly collapsed. In the next moment, Sun Shitong felt threads wrap around her body. Sun Shitong violently struggled, but the more she struggled, the tighter she was bound. She could no longer move. She finally cried out in horror, "No, how is this possible?" Lin Feng smiled and said, "I forgot to tell you that I should be a profound stage Spirit Array Master now." Chapter 404. Lin Feng's soul power had already reached the 7th layer of the yin-yang realm. Such a powerful soul power was enough for him to become a profound rank Spirit Array Master and profound rank Alchemist. However, Lin Feng lacked practice in Spirit Array techniques, and he didn't test his Spirit Array Master and Alchemist grade. Thus, he couldn't be sure of his exact grade. However, Lin Feng felt that he should be close to reaching the profound rank. Sun Ziyue's Spirit Array technique was like displaying one slight skill before an expert in front of Lin Feng. It would be easy for her to escape. When Sun Ziyue used her Spirit Array technique to imprison him, Lin Feng pretended to be imprisoned by Sun Ziyue. When Sun Ziyue came to his side and wanted to get rid of him, Lin Feng broke her spirit array technique and used the entanglement technique to bind Sun Ziyue. Of course, Sun Ziyue was very powerful. Not only was she powerful, but she was also a spirit array master. If it was someone else, their head would have been separated from their body. However, Sun Ziyue was facing Lin Feng, so her fate was sealed. Lin Feng lightly tapped Sun Ziyue's body. The earth energy that Sun Ziyue condensed was instantly dispersed. Sun Ziyue wouldn't be able to use the power in her body for a short period of time. Sun Ziyue's pretty face became extremely pale. She tried her best to calm herself down, but she realized that her heart was filled with fear and despair. Sun Ziyue never thought that there would be a day when she would die at the hands of a martial general. Perhaps we can negotiate. As long as you let me go, I can promise you anything. Sun Ziyue didn't want to give up. She didn't want to die. She looked pitifully at Lin Feng. It had to be said that beautiful women had a natural advantage. Sun Ziyue's beautiful face, coupled with her pitiful and tearful expression, made Lin Feng's heart waver. It would be a pity to kill such a beauty. He narrowed his eyes and looked at Sun Ziyue. He saw that she was completely soaked. Her hair was stuck to her snow-white skin, and her clothes were clinging to her body. Her face, figure, and pitiful expression made Lin Feng feel an evil fire burning in his dantian. You, what are you doing? Sun Ziyue seemed to feel Lin Feng's evil gaze, and her pretty face couldn't help but turn pale. She knew that her face and figure were extremely lethal to men. Lin Feng grabbed Sun Ziyue and said with a cold smile, "Didn't you want to make a deal with me? I can agree to make a deal with you now. Don't even think about it. I'd rather die than make such a dirty deal with you." Sun Ziyue's pretty face was pale. She could guess what Lin Feng wanted to make, but she definitely wouldn't accept it. Hee, it's not up to you now. Lin Feng looked indifferent. He didn't feel any sympathy for Sun Ziyue. This woman had wanted to kill him. If she didn't have such a beautiful face and such a hot body, she would have already died. But now, he was giving her a chance to live. Lin Feng hugged Sun Ziyue's hot body. "No, let go of me." Sun Ziyue struggled, but she couldn't use her strength anymore. Lin Feng carried Sun Ziyue to a rock. Lin Feng pressed Sun Ziyue against the rock, allowing the water to wash over their bodies. Sun Ziyue panicked and turned her head, shouting in fear, "No, change your conditions, I'll agree to anything." But soon, she was about to faint from the pain. It was too late. After a violent storm, Sun Ziyue, who had been ravaged half to death, lay on the smooth rock with her clothes in tatters. "Woman, remember, don't provoke me again." His cold voice resounded in Sun Ziyue's ears, waking her up. Sun Ziyue's body was curled up. She was still in pain, as if she wanted to take revenge. That bastard hadn't treated her with any pity at all. Sun Ziyue's misty eyes gradually regained their focus, and she looked at Lin Feng with hatred. But she didn't say anything. She buried her hatred in her heart. Phew. After entering the forest, Lin Feng changed into a clean set of clothes and took a deep breath. After Sun Ziyue, Lin Feng felt that the repressed brutality in his heart had been completely released. This made Lin Feng feel relaxed. Although he felt a little guilty towards Sun Ziyue, Lin Feng quickly put it to the back of his mind. A pitiful person must have a hateful side. If Sun Ziyue hadn't tried to kill him time and time again, how could she have ended up like this? Lin Feng continued to rush towards the depths of the ancient battlefield of gods and demons. He still had to find the third bluestone martial talisman. This was very important to Lin Feng. If he could find the third bluestone martial talisman, Lin Feng's martial spirit would evolve a second time. On this day, a celestial light streaked across the sky, illuminating the world. That celestial light contained a shocking fluctuation that alarmed many people. Immortal treasure. Lin Feng was shocked. It was actually this immortal treasure. In the past, many people had chased after this immortal treasure. They were even besieged by demon Dao experts because of this immortal treasure. Those 5 young experts might have been killed by Purgatory Archdevil. It was also that incident that led to the separation of Lin Feng and Sikong Jiayue. Now, this immortal treasure had reappeared. This immortal treasure is really strange. After so long, no one has been able to snatch it. What kind of treasure is it? Lin Feng muttered. Many people chased after this immortal treasure. It was clearly a unique treasure that made many people go crazy. Lin Feng also chased after it. He hid in the forest and took out the heaven-devouring jar. He wanted to use it to snatch this immortal treasure. Whoosh! The immortal treasure was enveloped by the heaven-devouring jar's powerful devouring power and quickly flew towards it. Success! Lin Feng's eyes suddenly lit up, but it was still a failure. The immortal treasure emitted an extremely powerful energy fluctuation that swept the heaven-devouring jar away. Lin Feng thought that it was ridiculous. After all, the heaven-devouring jar was incomplete, so it couldn't release its true power. In the end, the immortal treasure escaped. Lin Feng wasn't willing to let the immortal treasure escape. He quickly chased after it, but very quickly, Lin Feng's expression became unsightly because he saw a cultivator in the distance looking at him with murderous intent. A terrifying chi enveloped him. The old man in green robes. It was the old devil. Ever since Lin Feng had cut off one of his arms, the old devil had been itching to cut Lin Feng into pieces every night. Now that he finally saw Lin Feng again, he was so excited that his whole body was trembling. "Little bastard! I want you dead!" The old devil roared. Netherworld ghost claw. Rumble. A huge ghost claw the size of a dozen mu condensed in the air and grabbed towards Lin Feng. Danger! Lin Feng's expression suddenly changed when he saw the netherworld ghost claw descend from the sky and grab him. Chapter 405. Look, it's the mysterious demon ancestor. He's a big shot of the devil Dao. Hurry up and hide. I don't know who cut off this old devil's arm, but he's completely crazy now. Who knows how many people he killed in the ancient battlefield of gods and devils? Who's that kid? He actually provoked this old devil. Looks like he's dead for sure. Many cultivators who were chasing after immortal treasures cried out in alarm when they saw the green-robed old man. It turned out that this old devil's name was the mysterious demon ancestor. The huge nether ghost claw condensed and emitted a suffocating pressure. Lin Feng had the feeling he was going to die. This was the lethality of a yin-yang expert's divine ability. It was too terrifying. Once a secret technique reached the divine ability level, it could only display its true power by using magic power. For example, Lin Feng's secret techniques, such as the Great Heaven Covering Hand, the Sky Tyrant Thunder Art, the immemorial Qiongqi Treasure Technique, and so on, were far from displaying their true power. Facing the mysterious demon ancestor's attack, Lin Feng only felt suffocated. The mysterious demon ancestor's strength was too terrifying. Lin Feng knew that he was no match for the mysterious demon ancestor at his current stage. Not to mention a general realm cultivator. Even a martial king realm cultivator would be as weak as an ant in front of an old devil like the mysterious demon ancestor who had lived for thousands of years. The huge nether ghost claw grabbed towards Lin Feng. The terrifying aura emitted by the nether ghost claw made it difficult for Lin Feng to move. This made his expression extremely unsightly. Was he really going to die at the hands of the mysterious demon ancestor? Lin Feng was naturally unwilling. At this critical moment of life and death, Lin Feng crazily circulated the immemorial dragonesque elephant art. Immemorial dragonesque elephant, Sacred Emperor Bao. A monstrous chi emerged from the claw, and in a flash, Lin Feng could sense that the gigantic pressure brought by the claw had disappeared like smoke in thin air. The immemorial dragonesque elephant art was worthy of being the #1 taboo divine ability of the immemorial era. Lin Feng was only a general realm cultivator, but he was actually able to break the pressure of a yin-yang expert's aura. Swish, swish. Then, a pair of golden wings appeared on Lin Feng's back. It was the golden body wings. He quickly flapped his golden wings and flew into the distance. Boom! That nether ghost claw fiercely clawed at him, but Lin Feng had already taken the lead. The nether ghost claw instantly destroyed a large part of the forest. Lin Feng turned into a stream of light, as fast as lightning, flying madly into the distance. Oh my God! Are my eyes playing tricks on me? That brat is only a general. How did he dodge Patriarch Black Demon's attack? Yeah, that's unbelievable. Look, that brat is so fast. Many people were shocked because Lin Feng's speed was too fast. In the blink of an eye, he was already out of sight. The Shinamo patriarch roared furiously and quickly chased after Lin Feng. "Brat, you can't escape. Even if I don't do anything, I'll still kill you." The Shinamo patriarch's voice was filled with hatred. His face was distorted. Lin Feng frowned slightly. It was too difficult to deal with this old devil. If they fought a battle of attrition, he would definitely lose. Forbidden space. Lin Feng's eyes lit up. He thought of the mysterious and terrifying forbidden space. If he lured the old devil into the forbidden space, it would weaken the old devil's magic power. Lin Feng was convinced that with his physical strength, he would be able to oppress the old devil and kill him in the forbidden space. Swoosh. Thinking about that, Lin Feng flew in the direction of the forbidden space. The old devil laughed. The old demon laughed in a strange way. He was getting closer and closer to Lin Feng. "Old turtle, you're shameless. You've been cultivating for thousands of years, but you're chasing me, an 18-year-old boy." Lin Feng cursed. The Shinamo patriarch roared, "Little bastard, I don't care how old you are. I just want to tear you to pieces." The Shinamo patriarch's voice was filled with hatred and hatred. It was Lin Feng. He had destroyed the demonic banner he had spent 800 years refining. It was Lin Feng. He had cut off one of his arms. Besides, the most important thing was that Lin Feng was only a cultivator of the general layer. He was a yin-yang cultivator, but he had been ambushed by an ant-like general cultivator. This was a deep humiliation for the Shin-Imo patriarch. This humiliation had already become a demon in the Shin-Imo patriarch's heart. The Shin-Imo patriarch knew that if he didn't kill Lin Feng quickly, his demon would grow deeper and deeper. He might even lose control and die a miserable death. Lin Feng didn't say anything else. He quickly flew in the direction of the forbidden space. But when Lin Feng arrived, his expression changed drastically. The forbidden space had already disappeared. The Shinamo patriarch laughed sinisterly. "Brat, you want to lure me to the forbidden space? Let me tell you, the forbidden space can only exist for 10 days each time it appears. After 10 days, it will disappear. After 100 years, it will appear again." Lin Feng's expression sank. He hadn't thought that there would be such a thing. When he saw Lin Feng's expression become even more unsightly, the Shinamo patriarch became even more pleased. "You won't be able to escape. Stop right now, and I'll give you a quick death. How about that? Die my ass. Old devil, just you wait. I'll cut you to pieces sooner or later." Lin Feng pursed his lips. He didn't want to admit defeat. The old devil was extremely strong. But so what? He couldn't accept it. "You're still so stubborn. Let's see how you'll die when I catch you." The old devil laughed sinisterly. Lin Feng fled like crazy. The old devil chased after him. After a day and a night, Lin Feng felt exhausted. "Brat, you've slowed down a lot. I'll catch you soon. Do you know how miserable your death will be?" The Shinamo patriarch's arrogant voice came from behind him. Lin Feng wasn't someone who gave up easily. After flying for about 100 li, Lin Feng saw a mountain range in the distance. That mountain range was very quiet. There weren't any ferocious birds or beasts. Lin Feng didn't know where it was, but he could sense an endless amount of killing intent coming from that mountain range. It was definitely an extremely dangerous place. If I die, I might as well try my best. Lin Feng clenched his teeth and rushed towards that mysterious mountain range. He rushed into the mountain range and saw a gigantic valley. The terrifying killing intent was coming from that valley. The Shinamo patriarch was already behind him. Lin Feng didn't care about anything else. He rushed towards the valley, but at that moment, a destructive chi spread out from the valley. "Someone dares to enter the weapon burial valley? Are you here to die?" A voice filled with boundless killing intent spread out. Then, a terrifying killing intent enveloped Lin Feng as he rushed towards the valley. Crack, crack. Lin Feng was astonished when he realized that the terrifying energy surrounded him. His body started to crack like a piece of porcelain. There were countless cracks all over his body. Chapter 406. The scene in front of him was too terrifying. Lin Feng's body was cracking bit by bit, as if it could shatter at any moment. This was the same situation as when Lin Feng saw the body of the young expert from the myriad sword sect shatter in the forbidden spell space. However, this time, the person whose body was about to shatter was Lin Feng. Lin Feng felt the aura of death envelop his body. That feeling almost suffocated him. He had never felt such fear before. The murderous aura emanating from the valley could actually take a person's life. The Weapon Burial Valley was such a terrifying place. It was rumored that it was a forbidden area in the ancient battlefield of gods and demons. The divine weapons and demonic weapons of the gods and demons that died in the ancient Great War were buried here. Too many divine weapons and demonic weapons were buried here, causing a terrifying change to occur here. In the past, there were still cultivators who would enter the valley to take the risk to search for divine weapons and demonic weapons. However, no one dared to enter the valley anymore. Most of the cultivators who entered had died tragically in the Weapon Burial Valley. Only 1 or 2 people were lucky enough to come out alive. The Weapon Burial Valley is too convenient for this brat. Seeing Lin Feng's body crumbling bit by bit, the Black Demon Ancestor's expression was cold. He didn't approach, instead watching everything with cold eyes. He was waiting for Lin Feng to be killed by the murderous aura in the Weapon Burial Valley. However, the Black Demon Ancestor wasn't willing to let Lin Feng die like this. Even so, he didn't dare to enter the Weapon Burial Valley. This wasn't the first time the Black Demon Ancestor had entered the ancient battlefield of gods and demons. Therefore, he knew how terrifying the Weapon Burial Valley was. If he could avoid it, he would do his best to avoid it. Archean Dragonesque Elephant Art. Lin Feng roared as he madly circulated the Archean Dragonesque Elephant Art. The Archean Dragonesque Elephant's power poured out endlessly, enveloping Lin Feng's body. His body was rapidly being repaired. Lin Feng roared. Bang! He charged into the Weapon Burial Valley, and the murderous aura instantly dissipated. What? He actually managed to break through the killing intent in the Weapon Burial Valley? The Xianamo Ancestor's face was gloomy. He took out a flying sword and slashed it at Lin Feng. It was a demonic sword, and it instantly entered the Weapon Burial Valley. Crack! However, the moment the demonic sword entered the Weapon Burial Valley, it instantly shattered. This was a demonic sword at the level of a bejeweled weapon, but it could not withstand the corrosion of the Weapon Burial Valley. The Weapon Burial Valley was said to be the place where weapons were buried. It was indeed so. When the Black Demon Patriarch saw Lin Feng rush into the depths of the Weapon Burial Valley, he gritted his teeth and followed suit. He did not believe that Lin Feng, a cultivator in the martial general realm, could withstand the killing intent of the Weapon Burial Valley. How could he, a cultivator in the Yin-Yang realm, not be able to withstand it? However, the Black Demon Patriarch did not know that everyone who entered the Weapon Burial Valley had different killing intent. The killing intent was different according to one's cultivation. When the Black Demon Patriarch rushed into the Weapon Burial Valley, the killing intent he had to endure was 100 times stronger than Lin Feng's. Kacha. The Black Demon Patriarch's body began to crack. Poof, poof, poof. Following that, bloody holes appeared on the Black Demon Patriarch's body. The Black Demon Patriarch roared in anger and fear. He could feel his life slipping away and the smell of death. He did not know how many years it had been since he had felt this. Only now did the Black Demon Patriarch realize how terrifying the Weapon Burial Valley was. Break! The Black Demon Patriarch roared. His battle strength was heaven-defying. He forcefully tore through the killing intent of the Weapon Burial Valley and escaped. At that moment, the Black Demon Patriarch was covered in blood. His face was extremely gloomy. His injuries were very serious, but even so, he did not leave. He sat cross-legged outside, healing his injuries while waiting for Lin Feng to come out. This old thing is blocking the exit. Let me see if there's any other way out. Lin Feng frowned. Flying was forbidden in this place because there were so many restrictive spells. Once someone touched one of those restrictive spells, they would be instantly killed. Lin Feng continued walking until he reached a fork in the road. However, at that moment, Lin Feng sensed a terrifying chi coming from the left side of the valley. Someone actually managed to break in. Haha, that's great. Human flesh. I've forgotten what it tastes like. A gloomy voice came from the valley, and then a huge yellow cauldron rushed out. The yellow cauldron was filled with an evil aura. What's that? A weapon can talk? Lin Feng was astonished. Even if a weapon had a weapon spirit, it only had a very simple consciousness. But that earthen yellow cauldron was clearly speaking the human language. We all love human flesh. Don't even think about taking it for yourself. Another cold laugh was heard. Following that, a blood-red blade flew out. It could also talk. Blood-red blade, demonic cauldron, you think too highly of yourselves. We don't even know who this boy will belong to, said another voice. A third voice rang out, and a jade ruler flew out. Whoever is faster will eat his flesh, said a fourth voice. Boom. A terrifying chi came from the depths of the valley. Very quickly, hundreds of godly and demonic weapons rushed out. Nobody can take it from me. The cauldron roared and moved towards Lin Feng at full speed. Eat, eat, eat. Eat that boy's flesh. The other godly and demonic weapons went crazy as well. They were like demons that wanted to devour people. They were too terrifying. The hundreds of godly and demonic weapons could all speak. Their chi was even more terrifying than the one before. Furthermore, these demonic armaments had a special characteristic, which was that they were all broken. For example, the cauldron was missing more than half. The blood-red blade had obviously been broken in two. Only half of it was left. But even though it was broken, it was terrifying. However, it was still extremely terrifying. For some unknown reason, these divine weapons and demonic weapons all possessed complete thoughts. Clearly, they had all become extremely evil. Lin Feng turned around and ran towards the valley. Chase him. Don't let him in, shouted the cauldron anxiously. Boom, boom, boom. The hundreds of godly and demonic weapons all released terrifying attacks towards Lin Feng. The attacks were too terrifying. Lin Feng felt that even an almighty human would be killed in an instant. Swoosh! Lin Feng opened his golden wings with all his strength. He pushed his speed to the limit and rushed towards the valley. Rumble! At that moment, the godly and demonic weapons attacks followed the path and disappeared into the void. Lin Feng narrowly dodged their attacks. The hundreds of godly and demonic weapons moved back and forth in the valley where Lin Feng was. The cauldron shouted, "Little boy, hurry up and come out. The place you're in is even more terrifying. If you don't come out, you'll die." That's right. Hurry up and come out. If you fall into our hands, at most you'll be eaten. If you fall into the hands of that guy, you'll be begging for death. That guy enslaves souls. Your body will be destroyed, and your soul will be enslaved by that guy. You'll be in endless pain, and you'll wish you were dead, said Blood-Red Knife gloomily. Do you believe that I won't eat you? Said a deep and gloomy voice from the depths of the valley. As the voice spread, the entire valley turned black. Black fog rolled in all directions. Nobody knew what was hiding in the depths of the valley. Run! When the hundreds of godly and demonic weapons saw that the being in the depths of the valley had come back to life, they all screamed in fear and ran back to their own valleys. Lin Feng looked at the depths of the valley in astonishment. The hundreds of godly and demonic weapons were terrifying. How could they be so frightened by the being in the depths of the valley? What was in the depths of the valley? Lin Feng quickly ran outside, but a terrifying strength swept over and bombarded Lin Feng, pushing him back into the valley. Lin Feng's face turned deathly pale, and he even coughed up blood. Lin Feng was astonished. Lin Feng slammed into the wall. He felt as if all his bones were about to break. The attack from the mysterious existence was too terrifying. The primal chaos origin chi formed by the primal chaos ancient lamp was about to dissipate. What? A treasure forged from primal chaos origin chi? The existence in the depths was clearly shocked. He asked, "Where did you get the primal chaos ancestral aura?" Let me out and I'll tell you. What do you think of this deal? Lin Feng crawled up from the ground and grinned. Humph. A cold voice came from the mysterious existence. I'll know once I devour you. Your primal chaos ancient lamp is a great supplement to me. You were such a great future star, but now you're going to become my food. said the strong cultivator in the depths of the cave. Demon Chi rose up in the air and moved towards Lin Feng. Just a single strand of demonic aura had injured Lin Feng. The primal chaos origin Chi, formed by the primal chaos ancient lamp, was almost destroyed as well. Now, the demonic aura was sweeping over. Clearly, the mysterious existence wanted to destroy Lin Feng and devour Lin Feng's primal chaos ancient lamp. Lin Feng knew that there was no way he could block this attack. It was too terrifying. It wasn't something he could fight against at his level. Even if a major character came, he would probably be killed instantly. Lin Feng clenched his teeth and tried to activate the demonic orb, hoping that it would be useful at a critical moment. However, Lin Feng was depressed because the demonic orb didn't move at all. No matter how hard he tried, Lin Feng couldn't summon it. He then tried to summon the Xinming demonic book. Although he didn't know what secrets it hid, the fact that it could fight against the demonic orb meant that it was a terrifying existence. However, Lin Feng couldn't activate the Xinming demonic book. This was too much. Lin Feng wanted to cry, but no tears came out. At that moment, the Holy Emperor's stone started to vibrate violently. Lin Feng was shocked. He hadn't activated the Holy Emperor's stone. Of the three treasures, the Saint King stone was definitely the last to be considered because it was just too strange. Every time he tried to activate the Saint King stone, he would be tormented by it until he hovered between life and death. If he wasn't careful, he might lose his life. Therefore, Lin Feng had always been in awe of the Holy Emperor's stone. Lin Feng was also very cautious. However, Lin Feng hadn't thought that the Holy Emperor's stone would release such shocking vibrations on its own. Whoosh! In the next instant, the Holy Emperor's stone flew out and floated above Lin Feng. This time, the Holy Emperor's stone didn't cause any harm to Lin Feng's body. Perhaps it had a lot to do with the fact that the Holy Emperor's stone had flown out on its own. When the endless demonic light surged, the Holy Emperor's stone's blood-red light soared into the sky and instantly destroyed the demonic light. Then, the Holy Emperor's stone flew into the air and emitted a terrifying aura. Even if 1,000 reincarnations and 10,000 tribulations descend, it will be difficult to destroy my immortal will. A deep voice came out of the Holy Emperor's stone. Then, a blurry figure appeared amidst the endless blood-red light. "It's you, War Saint. Damn it, damn it. You still have a remnant of your will in this world. I will destroy your will." Suddenly, the existence in the depths of the Holy Emperor's stone saw the blurry figure in the blood-red light and roared furiously. War Saint Han Fizi, one of the 100 saints of the human race in the ancient times. Lin Feng's face was filled with shock. In the ancient times, during that dazzling era, the power of the human race had developed to the extreme. That was the most glorious period of the human race. 100 saints had appeared at the same time. This had never happened since the creation of the world, and War Saint Han Fizi was one of them. Chapter 408. How did the great war of gods and demons break out? Too much time had passed, and the truth had long been lost. This part of history was destined to be a secret. Countless gods and demons fell in this war, and thousands of worlds were dragged into it. Even the 3,000 states of the Tianwu continent fell into a calamity, and many ancient forces were destroyed. This was a long and drawn-out war that had lasted for thousands of years. The upheaval it had caused was unimaginable. That was until the birth of the 100 saints of the human tribe. They rose from their humble beginnings, and when the human tribe was in danger, they led the human tribe to fight against the ancient gods and demons. In the end, the great war of gods and demons was quelled by the 100 saints of the human tribe. As for the gods and ancestral demons, the two ancient races that started the great war of gods and demons, they disappeared in the passage of time. There were rumors that these two ancient and terrifying races were suppressed and sealed in a mysterious space by the 100 saints of the human tribe. There were also rumors that these two races retreated on their own accord to recuperate. The 100 saints of the human tribe could be said to be the greatest group of people in the history of the human tribe. When the gods and demons were at their peak, the human tribe did not have a sage emperor, so they became the sacrificial lambs of the gods and demons. They were treated like ants. The 100 saints of the human tribe helped the Great Xia restore the fallen human tribe, allowing the human tribe's legacy to continue. Lin Feng had only heard of the 100 saints of the human tribe, but he had never seen them in person. Now, he finally saw one of them. Lin Feng looked at the illusory figure of the war saint Han Fizi with shock and admiration. This was an ancestor who had sacrificed his life for the human tribe. Boom! A terrifying aura came from the depths, and then an 8 trigrams cauldron shrouded in endless black fog flew out. This is that terrifying existence? The existence that the hundreds of godly weapons and demonic weapons fear? Lin Feng was shocked. The 8 trigrams cauldron was terrifying. Even though it was damaged, it still contained unimaginable power. The 8 trigrams cauldron was originally a godly weapon, but now it had turned into a demonic weapon, exuding endless demonic power. It was you who built this weapon burial valley. It was you who buried us. The 8 trigrams cauldron roared in anger and resentment, and its eyes were filled with endless murderous intent. The weapon burial valley was built by the war saint Han Fizi. Lin Feng was moved. He had never thought that there was such a secret. Perhaps the restrictions on the ancient battlefield of gods and demons were closely related to the 100 saints of the human race. Be buried here and wait for reincarnation. An ethereal voice resounded between heaven and earth. No one knew where this voice came from. It seemed to be the voice of the war saint, but it also didn't seem to be. That ethereal voice reverberated in the air, and it was filled with the vicissitudes of time. No, we need freedom. The 8 trigrams furnace roared, and an endless amount of killing intent emanated from it. The gods and demons are dead. We've devoured their divine will and demonic will, and we've turned into undead soldiers. You actually suppressed us for so many years. You deserve to die. This was what angered the 8 trigrams furnace. They were originally the weapons of the gods and devils. Later, the gods and devils fell in the great war of the gods and devils. As a result, a small number of divine weapons and demonic weapons devoured their masters' thoughts and completed their present transformation. Devouring evil thoughts, transforming them into vicious weapons, slaughtering the world. How can I let you leave? The war saint's voice was cold. Lin Feng's expression changed. He didn't know what was going on with this war saint. Was the sacred royal stone stained with the war saint's blood? If this was the sacred royal stone that fell from outer space, was the war saint killed by someone in outer space? The stone was stained with blood, and only a brand was left on the sacred royal stone? When he thought of this possibility, Lin Feng felt very sad. Rumor had it that the 100 saints of ancient times all met tragic ends. The 8 trigrams furnace roared angrily, "Then I'll slaughter you first today." Boom. The 8 trigrams furnace released an endless amount of demonic light that blasted towards the war saint Han Fizi. Bang! The war saint Han Fizi stood in the blood-red light and waved his right hand. He slammed his palm forward and viciously struck the 8 trigrams furnace. The 8 trigrams furnace was instantly sent flying, crashing into a mountain peak. The peak collapsed instantly. The 8 trigrams furnace roared angrily. It rushed out of the ruins, and an endless amount of demonic fog surged out. Within the demonic fog, the Qian, Can, Jin, Zhen, Kuren, Dui, Li, and Sun were formed. This was the so-called 8 trigrams. Qian is heaven, Kuan is earth, Jin is thunder, Sun is wind, Jin is mountain, Dui is lake, Ken is water, Li is fire. The 8 trigrams furnace was formed and sealed the world, pressing down on the war saint Han Fizi. The sky fell, and the earth cracked. The sun and moon lost their light. This scene was like the end of the world. Lin Feng was shocked. It was hard to imagine how terrifying the 8 trigrams furnace's attack was. It was no wonder that the war saint Han Fizi wanted to suppress these godly demonic soldiers. These godly demonic soldiers had devoured the evil thoughts of the dead gods and demons and had completed a strange transformation. They were extremely evil. If they were allowed to escape the ancient battlefield of gods and demons, they would definitely cause a bloodbath in the 3,000 states of the Tianwu continent. Who knew how many people would be slaughtered? Break! The war saint Han Fizi attacked. He stepped forward and waved his right fist, sweeping it towards the 8 trigrams furnace. Bang! There was a loud bang, and the 8 trigrams furnace shattered. The war St. Hanfizi was terrifying. Even though it was only the last remaining brand of the blood-stained ancient stone, his combat power was still heaven-defying. He shattered the 8 trigrams furnace, one punch after another, trying to destroy it. Roar! The 8 trigrams furnace was suppressed. It seemed like the war St. Hanfizi wanted to destroy it. The 8 trigrams furnace roared furiously. Amazing, really amazing. After the Holy Emperor Stone was stained with blood, only the Tao War St. Hanfizi's remnant was left. It's still so terrifying. It's hard to imagine how powerful the war St. Hanfizi was when he was alive. Seeing the war St. Hanfizi about to destroy the 8 trigrams furnace, Lin Feng felt his emotions surge. But soon, a sorrowful feeling filled his heart. The 100 saints of the human race had sacrificed their lives for the human race. But in the end, they had died tragically in the outer realm. These were the ancestors of the human race. Thinking about the tragic deaths of the 100 saints of the human race, Lin Feng only felt pain in his heart. What are we waiting for? The war St. Hanfizi is here. He's already dead. Only his remnant is left. Let's destroy this remnant will. The weapon burial valley won't be able to suppress us anymore. The 8 trigrams furnace roared. Kill. Soon, a deafening battle cry came from outside. In another valley, hundreds of divine weapons and demonic weapons rushed over. Hanfizi, you've suppressed us for so many years. Today, we'll destroy your remnant will. Bloodblade roared. Destroy him. The giant cauldron roared as well. Endless demonic light surged in the sky. Hundreds of divine weapons and demonic weapons joined forces with the 8 trigrams furnace to attack Hanfizi. They wanted to destroy Hanfizi's remnant will completely. Chapter 409. Can Hanfizi block their attacks? Lin Feng stood in the distance, his heart filled with worry. After all, that was only the remnant will of the war St. Hanfizi. Its power was limited, while these godly demon soldiers were abnormally terrifying. Boom! Powerful attacks gathered together. Hundreds of godly demon soldiers were attacking at the same time. How terrifying was that? The godly demon soldiers had devoured the evil will of the godly demon soldiers and had become independent existences. They roared, filled with endless killing intent. Die! The killing intent of the godly demon soldiers was almost tangible. They were too terrifying. At that moment, the war St. Hanfizi made his move. His hands were performing a series of hand seals. Buzz! A shocking ripple radiated out from Hanfizi, the war saint. The ripple spread out fiercely. The attacks of hundreds of godly demon soldiers were all destroyed. I can't control my body. Suddenly, a godly demon soldier let out a terrified cry. It discovered that it couldn't control its body and was attacking another godly demon soldier. Me too. Next, more godly demon soldiers started shouting in fear. Very quickly, all the godly demon soldiers were affected. They couldn't control themselves and started attacking other godly demon soldiers. They instantly lost control of their bodies. Even the most powerful 8 trigrams furnace was the same. The 8 trigrams furnace was too terrifying. Its huge body slammed into the other godly demon soldiers. Bang, 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 one by one. The godly demon soldiers were smashed into pieces. They lost a great deal of their demonic nature, and their power was greatly reduced. Spare me. Some of the godly demon soldiers screamed in fear and quickly dodged the 8 trigrams furnace. What's going on? Lin Feng was shocked. Why were the godly demon soldiers attacking each other? Was it related to the war St. Hanfizi's hand seals? Lin Feng tried to recall the war St. Hanfizi's hand seals, but it was too complicated. Lin Feng couldn't remember it clearly, but it was definitely a heaven-defying secret technique. It had caused hundreds of godly demon soldiers to attack each other. Of course, the power of the 8 trigrams furnace also left a deep impression on Lin Feng. Mystical demonic weapons were strong to begin with, but when the furnace of 8 trigrams collided with other mystical demonic weapons, it could destroy them. From this, one could see how terrifying the furnace of 8 trigrams was. But no matter how strong they were, they could not withstand the attacks of the war saint. Bing. It's the Bing formula of the 9 symbolic words. The furnace of 8 trigrams screamed in horror. 9 words mantra? Is this the legendary 9 words mantra? Lin Feng's mind shook violently. It was rumored that the mantra of the 9 symbolic words was the supreme secret technique of Taoism. A sinister laugh came from that darkness. The war saint is just Aoso. That voice was terrifying, like the voice of a demon from hell. Blood dyed the sky red. The body that fell from the sky was the war saint Han Fizi's body. He didn't know what terrifying existence had killed him. After all, this was an ancient saint emperor. How could he die like that? It was unbelievable. War god Rending Heaven used a secret technique to recreate the scene of the war saint's death, murmured Lin Feng. Whispered Lin Feng. He was extremely sad. That was an ancestor of the human race. He had sacrificed his life for the human race, but now he had been killed. His blood dyed the sky red. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. An eerie and terrifying voice came from the twisted ball of dark light in the depths of the sky. Boom. A beam of demonic light fell from the sky, heading straight for war saint Han Fizi. Bam! That blow landed heavily on the body of the war saint Han Fizi, causing his body to explode. Is the war saint dead just like that? Lin Feng murmured. He was extremely sad. An ancestor of the human race had been mercilessly killed just like that. The war saint had died, and that terrifying existence had disappeared without a trace. But when the war saint's body was destroyed, there was a last drop of blood that hadn't been wiped out. It spilled on a flying rock in the starry sky, turning into a blood-stained holy emperor rock. Woo-woo! A sorrowful wail came from the sky, as if it was crying for the war saint's merciless death. Chapter 410. Lin Feng found it hard to breathe. He didn't know why tears were falling. The achievements of the 100 saints of the human race were still being sung by countless people. But the war saint Han Fizi, one of the 100 saints, had died in such a miserable manner. It really made people feel sorrowful, dismal, and sad. The sky-splitting battle god used a heaven-defying divine technique to recreate the scene of the war saint Han Fizi's death. He wanted to use this method to bring the war saint back to the past. The war saint Han Fizi was immersed in that world. He didn't move at all, as if he was immersed in his sorrow and reminiscing about the past. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust, the sky-splitting battle god murmured. He stepped forward and used a supreme divine ability. He wanted to take advantage of this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to destroy the war saint Han Fizi's final imprint. Bang! The attack landed heavily on the war saint Han Fizi's body. The war saint Han Fizi's body began to crumble. Lin Feng's expression changed. Was the war saint Han Fizi's final imprint going to be completely destroyed? If it was really destroyed, then he was dead for sure. He didn't think that the 8 trigrams furnace and the godly demonic soldiers would let him go. Senior, the past is the past. Don't sink into it. Think about it. If those godly and demonic soldiers escape from the ancient battlefield of gods and demons, the homeland you protected, the people you protected, how many people will be massacred? Lin Feng shouted. He didn't know if it would work, but it was what he thought. It was also Lin Feng's final effort. But the truth was just as Lin Feng had said. If the godly demonic soldiers escaped, it would definitely cause great suffering. Protect my homeland, the war saint Han Fizi murmured. War saint Han Fizi murmured. A glimmer of light finally appeared in his eyes. I want to cast a seal on you. In the next instant, a sharp light flashed in Han Fizi's eyes. A terrifying aura erupted from his body. At that moment, the war saint Han Fizi seemed to have come back from the dead. Endless runes were emitted from the blood-colored body, surging out in all directions. The runes that blotted out the sky formed chains that filled the void. Buzz. Violent fluctuations swept out. Countless distorted runes formed above the weapon burial valley. These runes seemed to have a life of their own and were now awakening. Are these the runes that the war saint Han Fizi used in the past? He used those talismans to suppress the godly demonic weapons. But after Han Fizi died, the power of the talismans weakened rapidly, and the godly demonic weapons became stronger and stronger. The runes of the war St. Han Fizi's body to the demonic soldiers of the godly demonic soldiers. If War St. Han Fizi hadn't died, perhaps these divine and demonic soldiers would have been killed here. However, War Sage Han Fizi had died tragically in the Outer Realm, causing changes to occur in the Weapon Burial Valley. But now, Lin Feng had obtained the Holy Emperor's Stone, which contained the blood of Holy Emperor Han Feizi. Lin Feng had come here. The Holy Emperor's Stone sensed his presence, so it appeared. Perhaps this was the War Saint Han Fizi's dying wish? The Holy Emperor's Stone appeared to fulfill the War Saint Han Fizi's dying wish. It strengthened the seal so that the godly demonic soldiers in the Weapon Burial Valley could not escape. Boom. The sky-splitting battle god attacked Han Fizi. He wanted to destroy the War Saint Han Fizi's strengthening of the Weapon Burial Valley's seal. The War Saint Han Fizi moved. He rushed forward and fought the sky-splitting battle god. The battle was too tragic. The War Saint Han Fizi's remnant consciousness had suffered a heavy blow before, and now it was in a worse state. Finally, the remnant consciousness of the War Saint Han Fizi burned and enveloped the sky-splitting battle god and the 8 trigrams furnace. Senior, Lin Feng was moved. Was the burning remnant consciousness trying to destroy the 8 trigrams furnace and the sky-splitting battle god's evil consciousness before it was completely destroyed? Lin Feng could not help but shed tears. Even though the War Saint Han Fizi had fallen long ago and only had this remnant consciousness left, he still wanted to protect his homeland and contribute his last bit of strength before it was destroyed. What kind of feeling was this? Senior, I'm willing to lend you a hand, shouted Lin Feng furiously, releasing his celestial fire. The purple earthcore fire flew out and merged with the flames of the War Saint Han Fizi's remnant consciousness. No! The sky-splitting battle god finally panicked. His last bit of evil consciousness began to be destroyed. Heavenly fire! This is heavenly fire! The 8 trigrams furnace roared in horror. Crack, crack. At this moment, the 8 trigrams furnace cracked and seemed unable to hold on. The rest of the divine demonic weapons charged at the runes in the void. However, the new runes that the War Saint Han Fizi created quickly merged with the old runes. The seal in the Weapon Burial Valley became stronger and stronger, sweeping away the godly demonic soldiers. Many of the godly demonic soldiers cried out in pain. Boom! The 8 trigrams furnace was truly terrifying. Just as it was about to be destroyed, it broke through the flames. The War Saint Han Fizi gradually disappeared. Senior, muttered Lin Feng. He stretched out his right hand as if he wanted to grab something. But in the end, the War Saint Han Fizi disappeared without a trace. Kill that brat! The group of godly demonic soldiers roared, their anger focused on Lin Feng. They wanted to kill Lin Feng. The Sage Emperor's Stone was still very strange. It floated above Lin Feng, scaring away the godly demonic soldiers. The seal in the Weapon Burial Valley was strengthened and became even stronger. The godly demonic soldiers' strength was greatly restricted. That's... Suddenly, Lin Feng's eyes widened. He saw a palm-sized green jade talisman. A green jade talisman, cried Lin Feng. There was no way he was mistaken. Among the hundreds of godly demonic soldiers, there was a green jade talisman. It had the same color and shape as the 2 green jade talismans in his hand. But the green jade talisman's chi was extremely evil. The green jade talisman's chi changed because it absorbed the evil of the godly demonic soldiers. That's why my 2 talismans can't sense its chi, murmured Lin Feng. Whispered Lin Feng. He then threw himself at the bluestone talisman. That brat wants to die. He dares take the initiative to attack us. When the group of godly demonic soldiers saw Lin Feng charge at them, they felt like they had been provoked. I'll kill you, roared the 8 trigrams furnace. It condensed Qian, Can, Jin, Zhen, Kuren, Dui, Li, and Sun, and moved towards Lin Feng. Boom! A terrifying chi surged. Lin Feng was enveloped by the 8 trigrams furnace's murderous intent. His body started disintegrating. The 8 trigrams furnace was too terrifying. Even though it had been severely injured, it could still kill Lin Feng. Chapter 411. Kacha Kacha. Even with the protection of the Holy King's stone, Lin Feng's body still couldn't bear it and began to crack. If it wasn't for the Holy King's stone, he would have been destroyed by this damned 8 trigrams furnace. Brat, the remnant consciousness of the war's Saint Han Fizi has been destroyed. This broken stone is no longer as powerful as before. You're dead. The 8 trigrams furnace laughed sinisterly and rushed over, wanting to kill Lin Feng. Lin Feng wasn't a person who would sit still and wait for death. He thought of the Black Dragon Sword, the treasured sword in the Divine Sword Manual. Swish. Lin Feng took out the Black Dragon Sword. Ignite my battle blood. I'll kill my way out. Lin Feng roared. Puff, puff, puff. He spat out 3 mouthfuls of blood essence in a row. Blood essence was the essence of a person's life. Too much blood essence was lost. In serious cases, one would go berserk and die on the spot. In less serious cases, one's cultivation would also drop. However, Lin Feng's blood essence was still within the acceptable range. His blood essence burned fiercely, and all the energy was poured into the Black Dragon Sword. Roar! A dragon chant emerged from the Black Dragon Sword, and a ferocious dragon appeared. It was circling above Lin Feng's head. It was closely connected to the Black Dragon Sword. Within the Black Dragon Sword, a suffocatingly strong power was released. After devouring Lin Feng's blood essence, the Black Dragon Sword's power had increased to a limit. Lin Feng held the Black Dragon Sword, shouted, and slashed at the 8 trigrams furnace. Kacha Kacha. The already damaged 8 trigrams furnace was instantly shattered by Lin Feng's sword. Ah, my body! The 8 trigrams furnace cried out in horror because its body had been shattered by Lin Feng's attack. It quickly retreated, full of fear. Lin Feng didn't chase after the 8 trigrams furnace because Lin Feng knew that it was impossible to destroy it. Even the war Saint Han Fizi couldn't destroy it, let alone him. The Holy Emperor's Stone above Lin Feng's head charged towards the blue stone martial talisman. Many divine and demonic weapons attacked Lin Feng. Their attacks were also extremely terrifying. However, the Holy King's Stone blocked all of their attacks. Although the Saint Royal Stone's power had been greatly reduced, it was still able to block the attacks of ordinary godly demonic weapons. Lin Feng swung the Black Dragon Sword and sent the godly demonic weapons flying. Brat, you're hurting me. Do you want to die? Many godly demonic soldiers cried out. Not far away, the damaged 8 trigrams furnace was quickly being repaired. Moreover, it was healing at a speed visible to the naked eye. Undying soldiers, Lin Feng's face revealed a look of horror. These divine demonic soldiers were too terrifying. They had long become undead soldiers. The so-called undead soldiers were just like those undead creatures. Unless you completely destroyed them, no matter how serious the injury, they would automatically recover. For example, the 8 trigrams furnace had withstood the combined attacks of War Sage Han Fizi and Lin Feng. If it had been any other godly demonic weapon, it would have been destroyed long ago. But the 8 trigrams furnace hadn't been destroyed. In fact, it was beginning to recover. Once the 8 trigrams furnace was repaired, Lin Feng would definitely die. Lin Feng naturally understood this. He took out the sky-devouring jar. A powerful swallowing force enveloped the blue stone talisman. Oi, you want to devour me? Don't even think about it. The blue stone talisman transformed into a terrifying godly demonic weapon and struggled violently. Lin Feng rushed over and slashed out 10 times in a row, breaking the demon chi outside the blue stone talisman. The blue stone talisman's power was greatly reduced, and it was devoured by the sky-devouring jar. Actually, the blue stone talisman had been devoured mainly because it wasn't a godly weapon. It was a talisman in itself. Even though it had absorbed evil and turned into an evil godly demonic weapon, the blue stone talisman didn't have much offensive power. Therefore, it couldn't compare to other godly demonic weapons. That was why it had been devoured by Lin Feng's sky-devouring jar. Whoosh! Lin Feng turned around and ran. He couldn't stay here any longer. Brat, don't run. Bastard, I'm going to eat you. The godly demonic weapons behind him roared. They realized that the godly Emperor Stone's power was weakening. This gave them a lot of confidence. Lin Feng also realized that the godly Emperor Stone's power was weakening. He madly ran outside. Boom! Behind him, the 8 trigrams furnace also shot into the sky and chased after Lin Feng. It gnashed its teeth and roared, "I'm going to enslave your soul. You won't be able to escape." The 8 trigrams furnace had almost been destroyed by Lin Feng and Han Fizi's heavenly fire. It naturally hated Lin Feng, who had taken out the godly Emperor Stone and heavenly fire to the core. It was moving towards Lin Feng like a madman, releasing terrifying demon lights which bombarded Lin Feng. Bang! The attack ruthlessly flew towards Lin Feng. Even though he had the protection of the godly Emperor Stone, the godly Emperor Stone's power had been greatly reduced. Therefore, the attack still caused serious damage to Lin Feng. Wah! Lin Feng was sent flying, coughing up large mouthfuls of blood. This kid can't take it anymore. Go eat him. A group of godly demonic weapons rushed over. Get out of my way. This kid is mine. The 8 trigrams furnace was furious. It released demonic light and swept away the rest of the godly demonic weapons. A chance. Lin Feng saw that the 8 trigrams furnace didn't attack him directly. He knew that this was an extremely rare opportunity. Many times, opportunities were fleeting. If the 8 trigrams furnace continued to attack him, Lin Feng knew that he would definitely die. But now, the 8 trigrams furnace didn't attack him. This gave him a chance to escape. Lin Feng soared into the sky, using his golden wings to their maximum. This was a restricted area, so he couldn't fly upwards. He could only fly outwards. What? You can still run after taking an attack from me? The 8 trigrams furnace was shocked and quickly rushed over. However, Lin Feng had already rushed to the entrance of the valley. Boom, boom, boom. The 8 trigrams cauldron moved towards Lin Feng. It seemed like it could destroy the earth and sky. Lin Feng was shocked when he sensed the aura behind him. There was no way he could block it. Lin Feng clenched his teeth and sped up. Before the 8 trigrams furnace's attack could reach him, Lin Feng rushed out of the valley. The 8 trigrams furnace's attack was blocked by the valley's restrictive spells, so it couldn't attack outside the valley. Damn it, damn it. It's all because of you bastards. Otherwise, I would have caught that kid already. The 8 trigrams furnace roared furiously. It turned around and looked at the godly demonic weapons. Run! The godly demonic weapons frantically ran towards the valley. I'm going to devour you. The 8 trigrams furnace roared and chased after them. Lin Feng rushed out of the valley, but before he could relax, a cold chi enveloped him. Die, kid. Xianmo, who had been guarding the entrance of the weapon burial valley, suddenly came out of the forest and threw a punch at Lin Feng. Bang! Chapter 412. Kikik. I've finally caught that brat. The mysterious demon patriarch cackled strangely. He felt so good that he felt like he was about to soar into the sky. How much had he suffered at the brat's hands? How many times had he caught him? He wanted to catch the brat even in his dreams. However, he had been disappointed time and time again. Now, he had finally gotten what he wanted. Swoosh! Just as the black demon ancestor was about to enter the forest to see if Lin Feng had been killed, a figure suddenly soared into the sky and flew away. It was Lin Feng. Although Lin Feng had taken a hit from the black demon ancestor, he had the Sage Royal Stone protecting him. The black demon ancestor's attack broke through the Sage Royal Stone's defense, and Lin Feng put it away. The Sage Royal Stone went into hibernation again. This time, it intentionally avoided the demonic bead and the shimming demonic book. It seemed to be in a state of silent recuperation. As for Lin Feng, he wasn't injured at all. The black demon ancestor merely thought that his sneak attack had dealt some serious damage to Lin Feng. Lin Feng pushed his speed to the limit and flew away. How is this possible? The black demon ancestor roared in disbelief. Although he was injured and the power of that palm strike was far from the peak of his strength, it was still a far cry from the attack. Yet, that brat was unharmed? That was too unbelievable. The black demon ancestor flew into a rage and chased after Lin Feng. He snarled, "Brat, you won't be able to escape. This ancestor will definitely catch up to you and turn you into ashes. Shameless old demon, you, a young cultivator, actually dared to sneak attack a martial general cultivator like me? How can you have the nerve to live until now? If I were you, I would have killed myself with a piece of tofu. Hearing Lin Feng's mockery, the mysterious demon ancestor almost died from anger. He grinned and said, "Brat, wait until I catch you. Let's see if you still dare to be so disrespectful to me." The Xianamo ancestor had already been injured by the terrifying murderous aura in the Weapon Burial Valley, so he could not increase his speed. After chasing for about 6 hours, Lin Feng shook off the Xianamo ancestor. The Xianamo ancestor's face was extremely gloomy. He could not imagine how a kid in the martial general realm could be so fast. The Xianamo ancestor hated Lin Feng to the core. However, he could not catch up with Lin Feng and once again let Lin Feng shake him off. This caused the Black Demon Patriarch to panic. He had allowed this brat to escape time and time again. Once this brat's cultivation increased, wouldn't that be the time of his death? Thinking of this, the Black Demon Patriarch's expression turned even uglier. After shaking off the Xianamo ancestor, Lin Feng found a hidden cave. He used a huge rock to block the entrance of the cave and set up a few concealment spirit formations to completely seal off the area. After doing all this, Lin Feng let out a long breath. He was now ready to refine the 3 talismans. "Brat, let me out or I'll eat you." The 3rd talisman was trapped in the devouring heaven jar, and it let out a vicious roar. Lin Feng sneered and said, "You've fallen into my hands and you still dare to threaten me? I think you're tired of living. Brat, how about we negotiate? As long as you let me go, I can give you endless wealth. I know where the secret treasures are buried in the battlefield of gods and devils. I can tell you everything," said the 3rd bluestone talisman. He was trying to entice Lin Feng into accepting his conditions. Lin Feng naturally didn't believe its nonsense. The 3rd talisman had already devoured the evil thoughts of the gods and devils. It had already become an evil existence. If he believed it, he wouldn't even know how he died. "It's useless. Don't waste your time. I'm going to refine you and increase my cultivation," Lin Feng said coldly. Then, he sat down cross-legged and took out the devouring heaven jar. The devouring heaven jar floated next to Lin Feng and emitted a terrifying fluctuation. "Heavenly flame, come out." Lin Feng took out the heavenly flame and the purple earthcore fire immediately entered the devouring heaven jar. Although the talisman wasn't as strong as the 8 trigrams furnace, it still had an undying attribute. It wasn't easy to refine the spirit of the talisman to death. However, it didn't mean that he couldn't refine it. As long as he had enough time, he could definitely refine the spirit of the talisman to death. Lin Feng spent 5 days and 5 nights. Sure enough, the bluestone martial talisman's devil spirit could not hold on anymore. "Brat, if you dare refine me to death, I'll curse you." Bluestone Wu Fu roared in fear and resentment. It sensed the smell of death. That feeling was so terrifying. "You're about to die, so shut up." Lin Feng's expression was indifferent as he frantically activated the purple earthcore fire. 2 hours later, a blood-curdling scream rang out. The bluestone martial talisman's devil spirit was finally refined to death by the heavenly fire. Lin Feng let out a long breath. Swish! With a flash of light in his hand, the 1st and 2nd martial talismans appeared. Lin Feng took out the 3rd martial talisman from the heaven-swallowing jar. He combined the 3 pieces into one. Buzz! When the 3 talismans were put together by Lin Feng, they immediately emitted a shocking energy fluctuation. A cloud of dense energy was emitted from the talisman. Lin Feng felt that his martial spirit was ready to move. It was emitting a thirsty call. It was like the earth that had been dry for a long time was being watered by rain. "Devour!" Lin Feng activated his devouring martial spirit and wrapped the martial talisman. Suddenly, the dense energy contained in the martial talisman began to be absorbed by Lin Feng's martial spirit. The 3 black holes began to spin rapidly. A powerful twisting force was emitted from the 3 black holes. After Lin Feng's devouring martial spirit had devoured the astonishing energy contained in the 3 talismans, it became more and more powerful. Lin Feng could clearly feel that his martial spirit seemed to have completed a new transformation. The first transformation, Lin Feng knew that the transformation of the martial spirit was more difficult than the previous one. It was also the first time that he had devoured the power of the martial talisman to transform his martial spirit, but he did not know if it was really like what the fire Qilin had said. Boom. 3 hours later, a terrifying aura was emitted from Lin Feng's body. Chapter 413. I've finally awakened the fourth and fifth devouring martial spirit, thought Lin Feng. Every time he awakened a devouring martial spirit, his battle prowess would increase exponentially. After refining the bluestone talisman, he had awakened 2 devouring martial spirits. Even with Lin Feng's temperament, he couldn't help but be overjoyed. With the 5 devouring martial spirits, even without using the ancient divine Emperor Qiong Qi's clone, I should be able to fight against a martial king, thought Lin Feng, taking a deep breath. Buzz. At that moment, the 3 bluestone talismans emitted a terrifying fluctuation. Lin Feng looked at them and saw them turn into 3 balls of light. In the end, they turned into 3 balls of light and rushed out of the cave, disappearing into the horizon. Lin Feng had heard the fire Qilin say that the 7 talismans in the world were extremely mystical. When someone found a talisman and absorbed its energy, it would disappear again and hide itself. It would continue to accumulate energy and wait for the next person to find it. Now, the energy of the bluestone talisman had been absorbed by Lin Feng. Just as the fire Qilin had said, the talisman turned into a beam of light and disappeared, hiding itself and preparing to gather energy again. Lin Feng took a deep breath. He had gained a lot from this trip to the ancient battlefield of gods and demons. His cultivation had broken through to the 6th celestial layer. Furthermore, he had awakened a 2nd martial spirit. I wonder how the fire Qilin is doing now, whispered Lin Feng. He felt that the fire Qilin had entered the ancient battlefield of gods and demons, but he didn't know where it was. Lin Feng didn't stay for long. He had originally planned to leave because Lin Feng had already gained a lot. It was best to stop while one was ahead. But at that moment, something big had happened in the ancient battlefield of gods and demons. Very quickly, the news had spread everywhere. In the depths of the ancient battlefield of gods and demons, an ancient palace had appeared. In the palace, there was a corpse that had surpassed the level of a god. Lin Feng had heard about it from the fire Qilin, but only the ancient dynasties and holy lands knew about it. Many ancient families and influential groups weren't qualified to know about it. However, it was unknown who leaked the news, and it caused a huge uproar. Initially, the ancient Holy Land and the ancient dynasty wanted to sneak into the ancient palace and take the corpse back for research. But now, many ancient factions wanted to get involved, and it caused a huge conflict. Transcending the level of a god? Is there really such a thing? Is the world of the immortals? One day, Lin Feng overheard some people talking about this in a cultivator's market. I heard that 100 years ago, the corpse of a strong cultivator who had surpassed the godly spirit layer was discovered, but back then, the Holy Lands hadn't been able to bring the corpse out, and they had suffered great losses. They had been saving their strength for 100 years to attack Guyu Palace again, but they hadn't thought that the news would be leaked. Who? It can't be the immortals and emperors, right? Of course it can't be them. The immortals and emperors don't want to share their secrets with other influential groups. That's an existence surpassing the level of a god. Maybe they can find a way to surpass the level of a god from the corpse. No way. The ancient holy emperor is the strongest god. Even people as strong as them can't surpass the level of a god. How can there be an existence surpassing the level of a god in this world? The world of the immortals is a legend. I don't know if it's true or not. If it's true, there must be an existence surpassing the level of a god. Let's go and take a look. The cultivators quickly left and headed to the depths of the ancient battlefield of gods and demons. Lin Feng muttered, was the fire Qilin the one who leaked the news? Only the immortals and emperors knew about it. The other influential groups might have heard about it, but they didn't know the details. But now, the entire matter had been completely exposed, and everyone knew about it. Lin Feng also entered the depths of the ancient battlefield of gods and demons. This time, there were dozens of ancient influential groups participating. The ancient holy lands and emperors who wanted to keep the secret felt helpless. They didn't dare offend so many influential groups. In the depths of the ancient battlefield of gods and demons, in the endless darkness, there was a towering demonic palace. The demonic palace emitted an ancient aura. It was heavy, mysterious, and had an indescribable demonic aura. Looking at it from afar, Lin Feng felt like his soul was about to shatter. His face was pale. The demonic palace was too terrifying. It must be hiding a huge secret. Lin Feng didn't dare to approach it. He stood in the distance and observed. I heard that 100 years ago, other than the ancient sanctuaries and the ancient royal dynasty, there were 3 other top powers who participated. They were the Flame Sage, the 9-headed demonic dragon, and the Sword Celestial Li Yuxiao. The 9-headed demon dragon is in seclusion, and Sword Immortal Li Yuxiao has been in the Eastern Sea world for 60 years. There's no news about him. Only the Flame Saint is left. He must have leaked the news. The ancient holy lands and emperors want to cut him into pieces. Someone said, "The Flame Saint? Didn't you say that he was killed?" Someone asked. Back then, many experts had gathered in a secret place in the Holy Sky continent to fight for the Sage Emperor Stone that had fallen from the sky. Chapter 414. Where do you think you're looking? She clenched her teeth and glared at Lin Feng. She couldn't help but cover her breast with her hands. Facing Lin Feng's burning gaze, she had a strange feeling. However, she didn't want to show it. I'm looking at the mountain peak in the distance. It looks like a mountain range, but it's different. Lin Feng sighed. Die, shouted Hu Mei Xian furiously. She raised her fist and punched Lin Feng away. You're trying to murder your husband. Lin Feng screamed. Who told you to spout nonsense? I'll kill you. She clenched her teeth and pounced. Even if I can't afford to offend you, I can still hide, right? Lin Feng bared his teeth and quickly ran away. Many cultivators looked over and thought that it was just a quarrel between a young couple. The older cultivators looked at them with interest. The younger cultivators looked at Lin Feng with envy. Who was this kid? He actually managed to get his hands on a peerless beauty like the charming fox immortal? Lin Feng avoided her and stood on a mountain peak in the distance, looking into the distance. Now, the great powers were about to attack the ancient palace, and they were already at the final stage. They had already accumulated enough strength. Lin Feng stood on the mountain peak and looked into the distance. He saw a few familiar figures. Qin Mubai, Genie Qin, and so on. They were all geniuses of the younger generation. Lin Feng also saw the geniuses he had taken care of in the forbidden space, such as Huang Fu Yi and the others. In the outside world, Huang Fu Yi and the others' cultivations weren't suppressed. They were extremely terrifying. They were all peerless geniuses, and their strength wasn't too far off from the mysterious demon ancestor who had lost an arm. From this, it could be seen how terrifying these people were. In front of the ancient palace, the experts of the great powers gathered. Said a great elder of an ancient holy land. Everyone, let's begin. Then let's do it. Boom. Following that, terrifying auras filled the area. Dozens of powerful existences floated in the void. All of them turned into streams of light and charged towards the ancient palace. They're going to attack the ancient palace. I wonder what kind of terrifying existence is in the ancient palace. Why are these top powers treating it so seriously? Some people were discussing this matter, full of doubts. Just as many experts were attacking the ancient palace. All of a sudden, devilish mist filled the ancient temple. Following that, a series of thumps resounded through the sky. It was like the sound of war drums, shaking the heavens and the earth, making everyone's heart palpitate. In the demonic mist, tall figures appeared one after another. They were hidden in the depths of the demonic mist, and it was difficult to see what kind of existence they were. They clashed with the experts of the major forces. Boom! Destructive energy instantly swept through the world. Terrifying fluctuations shook the entire world. The sun and moon collapsed, and the mountains and rivers sank. The surrounding ground had turned into an abyss. Quick, retreat! Many people cried out in horror. The battle in front of the main hall was too terrifying. They had only just started fighting, but it had already caused such a terrifying destructive power. Some of the cultivators who retreated slower were caught up in the aftermath of the energy and were killed on the spot. Many people retreated far away. Seeing the constantly collapsing ground, their hearts were filled with deep shock. This was a battle between the strongest cultivators, and the destruction it caused was too great. Kill! Some experts roared and charged forward, fighting with the terrifying existences in the demonic mist. But not long after, they were attacked. One of their arms was torn off, and they escaped with injuries. Is that the 8th elder of the Sky Mountain ancient Holy Land? One of his arms was torn off. Many people cried out in alarm. That was definitely a powerful individual. How long had it been since they fought? Yet, he had suffered such a serious injury. It was hard to imagine what kind of existences were guarding the ancient palace. How terrifying were they? Xianmo ancestor. Lin Feng frowned when he saw someone flying over. It was the Xianmo ancestor. Lin Feng didn't stay any longer. He turned and left. The battle of the ancient palace had nothing to do with him. It was something for the top forces to do. Lin Feng still had to avoid the Xianmo ancestor as much as possible. He wasn't a match for the Xianmo ancestor with his current cultivation level. Lin Feng left the ancient battlefield of gods and demons and went to a small town 50 miles away to wait for the fire Qilin. Because of the ancient battlefield of gods and demons, the town was bustling with people. It was a place where many cultivators rested. Many people were talking about what had happened on the battlefield. A few days later, news spread that dozens of strong cultivators from the ancient war palace had been defeated and suffered heavy casualties. This caused a huge uproar. Dozens of famous people had died a long time ago. 10 days later, a group of people arrived at the town. They were a group of terrifying existences. They were all dressed in black and looked extremely cold. A few days later, news spread that a supreme expert of the devil race, Sky Tyrant Divine Lord, had arrived. He had brought a supreme devil god weapon to the ancient battlefield of gods and demons. He wanted to join the battle of the ancient palaces. Devil god weapons were on the same level as holy emperor weapons and ancient imperial weapons. Sky Tyrant Divine Lord. He's one of the 5 sovereigns of the devil race. Someone said. The 5 sovereigns of the devil race all had heaven-defying cultivation bases. They were Sky Tyrant Divine Lord, Peacock Divine Lord, Da Peng Divine Lord, Taotai Divine Lord, and Black Tortoise Divine Lord. Of the 5 sovereigns, Taotai Divine Lord had disappeared 3,000 years ago. It was said that Da Peng Divine Lord had passed away. Black Tortoise Divine Lord appeared and disappeared unpredictably. Only Sky Tyrant Divine Lord and Peacock Divine Lord were still active in the 3,000 provinces of the Tianwu continent. Could those people be Sky Tyrant Divine Lord's group? Lin Feng rubbed his chin. He thought of those terrifying black-clad people. Were they experts of the devil race? The ancient battlefield of gods and devils had become the focus of everyone's attention. Sky Tyrant Divine Lord was in charge of the devil god weapon and had joined forces with many other experts to fight against the ancient palace. The battle was extremely intense. The heavens collapsed, the earth cracked, and the sun and moon lost their light. The ground was sunken, and even the mountains were destroyed. No one could approach the depths of the battlefield. With the ancient battlefield as the center, an area of 100 miles had been turned into a barren wasteland. Anyone who entered that area would be destroyed. Let's leave quickly. Just as Sky Tyrant Divine Lord and the others were fighting against the ancient palace, the fire Qilin returned, looking very anxious. Lin Feng nodded and quickly left with the fire Qilin. Why are you in such a hurry? Lin Feng asked after they left. Something terrifying happened in the ancient palace. The fire Qilin replied. What? Lin Feng was shocked. The fire Qilin had snuck into the ancient palace and experienced something terrifying. However, no matter how Lin Feng asked, the fire Qilin remained silent. They are fated to be in vain. The fire Qilin glanced in the direction of the ancient battlefield of gods and devils. It then looked away and left with Lin Feng. Chapter 415. Qingyang Town was less than 100 miles away from the famous ancient Qingyang sect. This was the last place to rest before reaching the Qingyang sect. The Qingyang sect was located in the mountains between the godly prefecture of the east and the great wilderness of the north. It was said that there were dragon veins there, and the Qingyang sect was located in the dragon veins. The powerful dragon veins condensed the qi of heaven and earth, making the sect immortal for 100,000 years. Lin Feng and the Fire Qilin arrived at Qingyang town. Lin Feng had come to fulfill his promise. He hadn't forgotten what Zishao had said before he died, and Lin Feng hadn't forgotten it. Zishao had a younger sister, who was also in the Qingyang sect. Zishao and his sister had depended on each other since they were young. Before Zishao died, his only concern was his sister. Thinking of Zishao, Lin Feng couldn't help but sigh. The three people who were most likely to have killed Zishao were Qin Mubai, Genie Qin, and Lord Saber. Qin Mubai and Genie Qin were too strong. Lin Feng couldn't do anything to them, and Lord Saber had disappeared without a trace. Qingyang town was very lively. People were coming and going. Many people were going to the Qingyang sect to learn. Most of them were nobles. If one wanted to join a big sect like the Qingyang sect, one needed to be talented and had to have a huge amount of money to send their disciples there. Since ancient times, there had been no shortage of geniuses, but the number of people a sect could recruit was limited. Lin Feng and the Fire Qilin stopped in front of a small restaurant. They found a table. "Big brother, what do you want to eat?" A 4 or 5-year-old girl walked over and stared at Lin Feng with her big eyes. The girl was innocent and cute. She was holding a menu. Although she was very young, she was very sensible and helped her grandfather and sister. "What a cute girl. Tell me, what's your name?" Lin Feng smiled. The girl smiled sweetly and said, "My name is Yun Yun. I'm 5 years old." The Fire Qilin also revealed a smile. This little girl was indeed very smart, sensible, and lovable. That pair of pure and bright eyes without a trace of impurities, after looking at them, would make the impetuous heart involuntarily calm down. Lin Feng smiled and said, "Let me see your menu." "Yeah." Xiao Yunyun nodded and handed the menu to Lin Feng before saying innocently, "Big brother, can you order one more dish?" "Why?" Lin Feng smiled and looked at little Yun Yun. "Because little Yun Yun's grandfather is very tired every day. If Big Brother orders one more dish, little Yun Yun's grandfather will be able to finish work earlier. That way, little Yun Yun's grandfather won't be so tired." Little Yun Yun looked at Lin Feng expectantly. "What an obedient and sensible child," Lin Feng said tenderly as he patted little Yun Yun's head. He looked at the menu and saw that it was filled with the simplest dishes. There were about 20 or so dishes, and the prices were very cheap. This was only a small restaurant, and it wasn't a big restaurant. Naturally, the prices wouldn't be too high. The people who came here were all ordinary people. Order everything," the Fire Qilin said. It was obvious that the Fire Qilin liked little Yun Yun a lot. Of course, the Fire Qilin didn't let little Yun Yun hear it to avoid scaring her. "Then, let's order one of each dish, all right?" Lin Feng smiled and looked at little Yun Yun. "Okay." Little Yun Yun nodded excitedly and said, "Thank you, big brother." She lifted her little legs and ran happily into the house. Not long after, hot dishes were served. The person who served them was little Yun Yun's elder sister. She was a young girl who stunned Lin Feng. She was about 13 or 14 years old. Although she wasn't very old, she was extremely beautiful. Her face was so perfect that it was suffocating. When she came out, many people looked at her in amazement. In the distance, a group of about 20 people riding strange beasts passed by. A waiter pointed in their direction and said, "Young master, look." The person riding a black flame beast was a young man who looked about 20 years old. He was also stunned when he saw the young girl. "There's actually such a beauty in this shabby place?" The young master waved his hand, and the group of people walked towards the restaurant. "Big brother, this is my elder sister." Little Yun Yun raised her head and smiled innocently. "Big sister, this big brother is really good. He's the one who ordered all the dishes," said Lin Feng. Little Yun Yun pulled on her elder sister's clothes and said, "Good girl, don't disturb big brother when he's eating." The young girl's name was Qin Er. Just like her name, she gave people the impression that she was pure and untainted. She was like a green lotus, standing alone in the world. "It's all right. I like little Yun Yun a lot." Lin Feng smiled. "Guests are here. At that moment, a voice came from a nearby table. A group of people walked over and kicked out the other tables. They sat there. Some people looked unhappy, but their companions stopped them. "That's a young master from the Qingyang sect," said one of the companions. Many people's expressions suddenly changed. The Qingyang sect was an ancient sect. They were extremely powerful. Nobody dared offend them. "Big brother, what do you want to eat?" asked little Yun Yun innocently. She walked over and raised her head. "Oh, you're so young, but you're so cute," said the young master, pinching little Yun Yun's cheeks. Little Yun Yun's delicate face had turned red from the pinch. Although it was painful, she endured it. However, her eyes were filled with tears of grievance. She was still very young, so she was already a little afraid of being pinched so painfully. However, when she thought about how hard her grandfather worked every day, she mustered up her courage and asked, "Big brother, do you want to eat anything?" "Haha, that's your elder sister, right? Bring her over," said the young master with a smile. Little Yun Yun was scared, but she quickly came back with Qing Er. "Young master, what do you want to eat?" asked Qing Er cautiously. She could obviously see that those people weren't good people. The young master looked at Qi Er and put his arm around her waist. He smiled and said, "I don't want to eat anything else. I just want to eat you." "You, let go of me." Qing Er's face turned deathly pale. She tried her best to struggle, but she didn't have a cultivation level. How could she struggle? Many people were pointing at them. Some people wanted to act like heroes, but when they thought about the young master's social status, they gave up. Those people were from the Qingyang sect. They were in the territory of the Qingyang sect. Offending the Qingyang sect was tantamount to suicide. "What are you looking at? Piss off," shouted the young master's guard arrogantly. "Let go of my sister." "Bad guy, let go of my sister," said little Yun Yun, pushing the young master away. "Piss off," said the young master, kicking little Yun Yun 3 or 4 meters away. Thump! Little Yun Yun fell heavily to the ground. Her forehead was instantly smashed open, and fresh blood flowed down her jade-like face. Chapter 416. The old man heard the noise and quickly ran out. When he saw Yun Yun lying on the ground with a bruise on her forehead, he was heartbroken. "You bastard!" Qing Er looked at little Yun Yun with heartache. She raised her hand and slapped the young master's face. Slap! That slap landed on the young man's face. "Bitch! How dare you hit me?" That young master's face immediately revealed a sinister expression. He directly carried Qi Er on his shoulder and walked into the restaurant. "Let's see how I'll *CK you," said the young man coldly. "Let go of me, you bastard. Let go of me." Qing Er struggled, but how could she break free? "Young man, Qing Er doesn't know any better. Please be magnanimous and let her go," said the old man, grabbing the young man's hand and begging him. "Piss off, old bastard," said the young man, kicking the old man away. "Grandpa, Grandpa, Grandpa, does it hurt?" asked Yun Yun, running to the old man and trying to help him up. But the old man was too old, and he couldn't get up for a long time. Yun Yun's face was covered with blood. She was crying helplessly. Perhaps with her age and her naive personality, she was still unable to understand everything that was happening before her eyes. "Grandpa," said Qing Er, looking pale. She was worried. "Haha, Lu Er, keep an eye on that old bastard and the little liar. Don't let them disturb me," said the young man with a perverted smile. What a sin! Many people were filled with righteous indignation, but when they thought of the other party's identity, they did not dare to interfere. They could only sigh in their hearts. "Let go of my sister. You're a bastard. Let go of Yun Yun's sister," said Yun Yun, standing up. She threw herself at the young man. The servant called Lu Er was the one who had told the young man about Qing Er's beauty. He knew his master well. When he saw Yun Yun throw herself at the young man, his expression changed. If they disturbed the young man's good mood, they wouldn't have a good time either, said Lu Er with a ferocious smile. "Little bastard, do you want to die?" As soon as he finished speaking, he leaped out and raised his leg to kick little Yun Yun. What were ordinary people in the eyes of these ancient powers? He was just like an ant. Many people closed their eyes as they couldn't bear to see such a cute little girl like little Yun Yun bleed on the spot. Crack, crack. The next moment, everyone heard the sound of bones cracking. Following a blood-curdling scream, a figure was sent flying. It's Lu Air. Many people were shocked. Lu Air was sent flying with a kick. Lu Air, who was in midair, had his entire leg broken. He was dangling in midair, looking extremely miserable. Plop. Lu Air fell to the ground, his whole body twitching. Look, a young master is making a move. Someone exclaimed. Alas, you're still too young. This place is less than 50 kilometers away from the Qingyang sect. The fire Qilin was worried that some idiot would target the old man and little Yun Yun. It would be very troublesome. They're attacking. There are quite a few generals among those guards. I wonder if that little boy can resist them. If he can't, he'll end up in the hands of the young master of the Qingyang sect. He'll suffer a fate worse than death. Many people thought that Lin Feng was too arrogant. Some people frowned when they saw the conflict. Many people thought that Lin Feng was too arrogant and that he was going to suffer. Little boy, how dare you offend our young master? You're really tired of living. Hideous laughter could be heard as more than 20 guards rushed over. Swoosh. At that moment, Lin Feng moved. Bang, bang, bang. A series of muffled sounds spread in the air. Everybody saw that Lin Feng was like a blur as he rushed into the crowd and started fighting with the guards. Crack, crack then. The sound of bones breaking could be heard. Accompanied by miserable screams, over 20 guards were sent flying. Their chests had all caved in, and their ribs had all been broken. Over 20 guards fell to the ground, and some of them were gasping for air. Clearly, they weren't going to survive. Insta-kill? Many people stared at the scene in front of them with their mouths agape. Those were more than 20 guards, and there were even a few powerhouses in the martial general realm. They had actually been defeated in an instant. Everyone's eyes were filled with shock and horror as they uniformly looked towards the young master who had made a move. Who was this person? So young and so powerful. What is his cultivation level? Everyone's hearts were in turmoil as they stared at Lin Feng, trying to guess who Lin Feng was. Chapter 417. You actually crippled so many of my subordinates. The young man's face immediately became extremely gloomy. He put down and walked towards Lin Feng step by step. The young man obviously wanted to personally deal with Lin Feng. I remember who he is. He's called Lu Zishu, the grandson of the fifth elder of the Qingyang sect. Someone revealed the young man's identity. The fifth elder of the Qingyang sect was a great figure of the Yin-Yang realm. His strength could be described as unfathomable. No wonder Lu Zishu was so arrogant and despotic. Little brat, you crippled my people in the territory of the Qingyang sect. Nobody in the world can save you. Lu Zishu's voice was filled with a hint of coldness. Although Lu Zishu was an evil young man, he was not a cripple. However, he was not a piece of trash. Instead, he was a cultivator with decent strength. Lu Zishu was 20 years old and was already at the 9th layer of the general realm. Even in the ancient era, he was considered to be quite talented. After all, to be able to enter the martial king realm at this age was definitely a super genius. As for those who could enter the Yin-Yang realm at this age, they were extremely rare. I think you should be worried about yourself. With your cultivation, I can crush you with one hand. Lin Feng curled his lips, his face full of disdain. Many people looked at Lin Feng in astonishment. That young man is really domineering. He doesn't put Lu Zishu in his eyes at all. That's right. No matter what, this Lu Zishu is at the 9th layer of the martial general realm, right? I wonder what that young man's cultivation is. I think he's at the 6th layer of the general realm. The 6th layer of the general realm? Against the 9th layer of the general realm? This is troublesome. That young man is too arrogant. I'm afraid he'll suffer. Immediately, many people cried out in alarm. Boom. Lu Zishu attacked. His body shot towards Lin Feng. He used Dragon Source Heaven and Earth to attack Lin Feng. At that moment, Lin Feng also attacked. A terrifying aura emanated from Lin Feng's body. Sensing the terrifying aura emanating from Lin Feng's body, many people's faces turned pale. Force. It was force. That young master has condensed his force. How is that possible? Wasn't it said that one had to be at least in the yin-yang realm to be able to condense force? Wasn't that young master at the 6th layer of the martial general realm? How is it possible to condense force? Many people cried out in alarm. An old man who said that only cultivators in the yin-yang realm can condense force? I've read in an ancient book that some amazing geniuses can condense force in advance even if they haven't broken through to the yin-yang realm. I wonder what that young man experienced that allowed him to condense such a terrifying force in advance. Many people felt the power emanating from Lin Feng's body, but their faces were pale, and they were almost out of breath from the pressure. Lu Zixu was suppressed by Lin Feng's force. His aura was severely suppressed, and his cultivation was immediately reduced by 30%. Now, Lin Feng had awakened 5 devouring martial spirits. With 5 martial spirits circulating, he could even fight against a martial king expert. Lu Zixu was only at the 9th layer of the martial general realm. How could he be Lin Feng's opponent? Boom! Lin Feng took a step forwards. Each time he took a step, his qi became more and more powerful. Bang! Lin Feng punched out, and his fist collided with Lu Zixu's. Along with the dull sound of the collision, there was a loud sound. Lu Zixu was sent flying by Lin Feng's attack. Damn it! Lu Zixu's face became extremely gloomy. He twisted his waist and landed on the ground. His eyes flashed with a sinister light. No wonder you dare to meddle in my affairs. You have some skills. Today, I'll let you know how powerful I am. Lu Zixu let out a sinister laugh, then leaped up into the air. Buzz! Everyone saw that Lu Zixu had transformed into a sword and slashed towards Lin Feng. Transforming into a sword? Isn't this Lu Wuqing's move? Seeing Lu Zixu's secret skill, Lin Feng raised his eyebrows slightly. He thought of Lu Wuqing. Lu Wuqing. Back then, when he had launched a sneak attack on Xikong Jiayue and himself, he had used this secret technique to transform his body into a sword. It seemed that Sun Ziyue, Lu Wuqing, and the others were also disciples of the Qingyang sect. Lin Feng did not expect that they were from the same sect as Zixao. Zixao was humble and polite, and treated people sincerely. However, these people were all arrogant and domineering, and looked down on others, and did evil. They came from the same sect, but there was such a huge difference in their personalities. People were indeed different. This was the so-called human heart. Transforming into a sword, an ancient divine ability. Many people cried out in surprise. Seeing Lu Zixu use this secret skill, their expressions changed drastically. This was a secret skill passed down in the Qingyang sect, and its power was extremely terrifying. It was very difficult to cultivate, but Lu Zixu had succeeded. Feeling the power of transforming into a sword, many people's expressions changed drastically, and they looked at Lin Feng with pity. This attack, it was really too powerful. In many people's eyes, this attack was simply too difficult to resist. Brat, die. A cold voice sounded. Lu Zixu had transformed into a sword. The sword slashed through the void. In an instant, it arrived in front of Lin Feng. Lin Feng looked indifferent. Transforming into a sword? Lu Zixu's strength was on par with Lu Wuqing's. When Lu Wuqing had attacked him, he had been caught off guard, and Lu Wuqing had not been able to break through his defense. Not to mention, his current cultivation had increased a lot compared to that time. Facing Lu Zixu's transforming into a sword, Lin Feng stepped forward. Boom, boom, boom. Lin Feng directly shook his opponent with his fists. After 3 consecutive punches, Lu Zixu's transforming into a sword was directly broken by Lin Feng. This is impossible. Lu Zixu roared in disbelief. He could not believe that this was real. Although he had just succeeded in cultivating transforming into a sword, it was still an ancient divine ability. The brat in front of him had a lower cultivation level than him, and he had not used any powerful secret skills, but he had broken his transforming into a sword. To Lu Zixu, this was simply a huge blow. It was hard for him to believe that this was real. What's impossible about this? Lin Feng's face was full of coldness, and he grabbed at the void. Crackle, crackle. The dense power of lightning condensed and formed. The power of thunder all blasted towards Lu Zixu. Bang, bang, bang. Along with the sound of violent collisions, Lu Zixu was drowned in the dense thunder. Ah! A tragic cry rang out. Lu Zixu was sent flying by Lin Feng's sky tyrant lightning. Lu Zixu's body exploded, his flesh lacerated, and he was dripping with blood. Many of his bones were broken, and he fell to the ground, twitching violently. Blood kept flowing out of his 7 orifices. The most terrifying thing was that there was a huge wound on Lu Zixu's abdomen. Lu Zixu's true qi had already dissipated. That young master destroyed Lu Zixu's dantian. Many people cried out in shock. Many people gasped. Lu Zixu was the grandson of the 5th elder of the Qingyang sect. Although he was a complete ruffian, destroying his dantian was equivalent to poking a hole in the sky. Chapter 418. Little brother, hurry up and leave this place. The person you crippled is the grandson of the 5th elder of the Qingyang sect, Lu Zixu. The 5th elder will definitely seek revenge for the smallest grievance. If he finds out about this, he definitely won't let you off. Someone secretly transmitted to Lin Feng. Thank you for the information, Lin Feng replied. He wasn't afraid, but the old man, Qi, and Yun definitely couldn't stay here any longer. Young master, hurry up and leave. If you're too late, you won't be able to escape from the Qingyang sect. The old man knew how terrifying the Qingyang sect was, and he couldn't help but worry for Lin Feng. Lin Feng said, Old man, if you're going to leave, you should leave together. Do you still have any relatives in town? The old man shook his head and said, The 3 of us depend on each other for survival. Do you have any relatives in other places? Lin Feng asked. The old man said, I have a distant cousin in Ping City who runs an escort agency. Perhaps we can rely on him. Ping City? I wonder where I am? Lin Feng asked. This place is called the Scarlet Fire Nation, and Ping City is in the West Prefecture Nation. The old man said, All right, old man, do you have anything else you want to pack? I'll personally escort you there. Lin Feng said, This kid is really... Many people were moved, and they admired Lin Feng's character. Things had already developed to this point, yet he didn't choose to escape. Instead, he wanted to escort the 3 of them to safety. Little brother, there's a griffin mount in the northwest of town. You can rent one or buy one there. A cultivator secretly transmitted a message to Lin Feng. Obviously, he didn't want anyone to know who he was. He was probably worried that he would be exposed and be hated by the Qingyang sect. Lin Feng felt grateful, but he also sighed. There were quite a few chivalrous cultivators. Qing, go back and take some valuable things with you, the old man said. Qing, nodded and quickly returned to the house, where she took out a package. Lin Feng said, There's no time to lose. Let's beat him up. After that, Lin Feng carried little Yun while Qing, supported the old man. The few of them didn't linger and quickly left. Lin Feng immediately spent a large sum of money to purchase a griffin. Everyone sat on the griffin and flew towards the west continent. Little Yun had already recovered from her shock. After all, she was still young, and this was her first time riding a griffin into the sky, so she was very excited. Big brother, little Yun can fly too. She curled up in Lin Feng's embrace, her little hands clutching tightly onto Lin Feng's clothes. She looked into the distance somewhat timidly, as if she was afraid of being blown away by the wind. When little Yun grows up, she'll be able to cultivate. In the future, little Yun won't need to ride a griffin. She'll be able to fly by herself. Lin Feng smiled and rubbed little Yun's head. Little Yun asked in surprise, You can fly by yourself? Will little Yun grow wings like this big monster? As she spoke, a terrified expression suddenly appeared on her face. She hugged Lin Feng tightly and shook her head. Big brother, little Yun doesn't want to grow wings. Little Yun is scared. Lin Feng smiled and said, Of course little Yun won't grow wings. Little Yun doesn't need wings to fly. Little Yun became happy when she heard Lin Feng say that. She hugged Lin Feng's neck and pressed her face against Lin Feng's. Then little Yun Yun can fly by herself to find Big Brother. That's right. When that stone monkey appears, little Yun Yun will be able to protect Big Brother. Lin Feng pinched little Yun Yun's delicate cheeks. Little Yun Yun nodded solemnly and said seriously, little Yun Yun will definitely protect Big Brother in the future. No one is allowed to bully Big Brother. If anyone bullies Big Brother, little Yun Yun won't like them anymore. Little Yun Yun will chase them away and help Big Brother vent his anger. Little Yun Yun is so obedient, Lin Feng said with a smile. Seeing Lin Feng and little Yun Yun's intimate interaction, the old man and Qing Er's expressions warmed up. Big Brother Feng, a shy voice called out from below. Under the night sky, a beautiful figure raised her head and looked over. Qing why aren't you asleep? Asked Lin Feng. Qing blushed and said, Big Brother Feng, Qing wants to talk to you. Lin Feng nodded and jumped down. He grabbed Qing Er's waist and jumped up. The two of them landed on a tree branch. The tree needed more than 10 people to wrap their arms around it. The branches were also very big. The two of them sat face to face. Qing blushed and said, Big Brother Feng, thank you for your kindness. If you hadn't helped me, I would have killed myself by biting my tongue. I don't know what would have happened to Grandpa and Yun Yun. Silly girl, what are you thanking me for? Lin Feng smiled and rubbed Qing Er's head. He felt that this action was a bit too intimate for their friendship. He awkwardly withdrew his hand, but he didn't expect Qing Er's soft body to jump into Lin Feng's arms. Lin Feng could smell the alluring fragrance of a virgin from Qing Er's body. Qing Er's delicate body trembled slightly. She murmured, Qing doesn't know if she'll be able to see Big Brother Feng again after we reach Ping City. Maybe that will be the last time we'll be apart. Qing wants to give her body to Big Brother Feng. Big Brother Feng, take Qing After saying that, she mustered up the courage to raise her head and kiss Lin Feng's lips. She was clearly inexperienced. After her lips touched Lin Feng's lips, she closed her eyes. She didn't know what to do next. Qing don't be like this. You still have a long future ahead of you. Don't give your body to me out of gratitude. Lin Feng gently pushed Qing away. Qing Er's blushing face instantly turned as white as a sheet of paper. Big Brother Feng, do you dislike Qing Er's lowly background? Or do you dislike Qing for not being pretty enough? Qing Er's delicate body trembled violently. Tears streamed down her face. When Lin Feng saw the sadness and despair on her beautiful face, his heart ached. He pulled Qing into his arms and said, Silly girl, you're still young. Wait a few years. When you grow up, I'll come and see you. Lin Feng smiled. Qing blushed and nodded slightly. Boom, boom, boom. At that moment, they heard the sound of a mutant beast in the distance. There was also a deep roar. The griffin let out a terrified cry, broke free from the rope, and ran away. Oh no, the Qingyang sect is here. Lin Feng's expression changed. Big Brother Feng, hurry up and run. Don't worry about us, said Qing with a pale face. Her delicate body was trembling. Lin Feng said, Don't worry, I'm here. Nobody can hurt you. He quickly jumped down from the tree and put Qing in the cave. The old man and little Yun Yun also woke up. Big Brother, little Yun Yun is scared, said little Yun Yun in fear. Don't be scared, Yun Yun. You'll be fine, said Lin Feng as he touched little Yun Yun's face. Anyone who enters must be killed without question, said Lin Feng. He then looked at the fire Qilin. The fire Qilin nodded. Lin Feng quickly walked out of the cave and used a concealment formation to hide the cave. Lin Feng knew that this kind of formation couldn't be hidden from experts. He only hoped that there wouldn't be too many experts chasing after him. Boy, you can't escape. A cold voice came from the distance. Boom, boom, boom. Then, more than 10 black flame beasts rushed over, crushing the void. On each of the black flame beasts sat a cultivator with a profound aura. There were 15 people in total. Seeing these 15 experts, Lin Feng's expression became unprecedentedly serious. 15 experts of the Martial King realm. The Qingyang sect had used an astonishing amount of strength to chase after him.